running backs. Ricky Williams, Edgerrin James, and you were with EJ this week. He is heading back to his home area now. Huh?
That's right, Immokalee, Florida. He's going back to Miami. He's from Immokalee, right down the street from Fort Myers. But, Jim, in each of his last 5 games against the Dolphins, Edgerrin James has gained more than 100 yards. But in fighting through his injury problems over the last 2 seasons, EJ has developed patience as well as maturity. He's also learned that breaking long runs is not as important as being healthy for the long run.
There are a few things I want to explain to you.
Sacrifice, commitment.
Everybody watching this interview, tell them what to look for when they know that EJ is back.
Well, you know, when I'm running at the tail end of a run, you're gonna see me slide, you're gonna see me push, you're gonna see me do a lot of little things at the end of the run. Like the Tennessee game we played, I was on the outside and Bullock, they had me pretty much, you know, but it's just a matter of making a real quick move and then jumping through these little cracks, you know, with that extra push. I jump this thing when I'm right, you know, but when I'm not right, it's, you know, it's like a whole nother person out there.
When he got hurt again this year, he's like, man, you know, what am I going to do? What am I doing wrong? You're not doing nothing wrong. You're working hard. Things like that are going to happen.
Perseverance. I always say, you know, it's like I'm sitting at a card table and I'm getting dealt a bad hand back to back. What can you do? You know, it's like, did I train this offseason? Yeah, I trained. I did everything you could possibly do.
But at the same time, it's going to turn for him. We can talk about EJ a whole lot more the rest of this year.
Teamwork.
How much easier does he make it for you?
Oh, he makes it a lot easier. I mean, we used to talk about it. When we go out there, he'll say, Marv, this your half, or EJ, this your half. Because they're going to play me, it's going to be in tight, so you just do your business outside. I said, all right, I'll do that. He said, when they double on you, they come back to me. I said, okay, we just play this little seesaw. Ain't no problem, I have no problem with that.
You cut the hair. Talk to me, tell me something.
We don't have a problem with hair in our family, so it's going to grow back, you know. And, man, in the game, you know, when people go to pulling your hair and everything, man, you know, that ain't something where you can just keep going forward with. You know, I got this thing about, like I said, I'm a person I love to do the stiff arm. Right. If you push the head, the body will follow. You know? Right. And the same thing with the dread. You pull the dread, the body will follow.
Do you still love the game?
Yeah, I like playing the game, but not when you hurt. When you banged up, it's a whole nother game, you know, and that's the only thing that you hate. That's the only thing that's frustrating, because the game, man, that's swear to God, it's an easy game. You know, it's too easy.
It's easy for you.
Are you ready?
Anyway, with the roster, 2 space. The handoff to Edgerrin James, breaks the tackle, goodbye.
Are you ready now? You missed a few games this season. Are you ready? Are you back?
I feel like I'm getting into the groove, you know. I feel like it's a long season. You know, don't worry about trying to get yards, trying to get stats, this and that, because that's something you can't control.
You trying to be Superman.
Yeah. Mental toughness. I don't come to Indianapolis to watch the game, you know. I come to play, you know. You try to do everything you can do to get out there and play. And, you know, you don't want to let nobody down. But when you get out there and 11 people at your head, man, it's a whole nother ball game. You know, that body really shows you, nah, we ain't ready. Discipline. Commit excellence.
EJ's coach Tony Dungy realizes that it's not in anybody's interest to push Edgerrin beyond what he is physically capable of doing. Let me tell you something. He has 100 tickets for this game. Mom and them, everybody in the hood is coming to this game. Edgerrin will show up today.
He will have a big game, you say. Let's start off with the Colts-Dolphins game as our first selection here on our weekly picks.
Pick it.
First to review. Boomer Dion and your humble host shared the honors last week. Dan,
I was 0-4.
perfect.
0-4. Yeah, that's pretty
up
bad.
That early lead.
But I'm still in second place.
Boomer is the overall leader, and here we go, guys. I just don't see. Manning has not performed well through the years against Miami. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I know they've lost a couple of home games. I can't see them losing 3 this early. I'm going Miami.
And Jim Edgerrin James, yeah, he's not healthy, but Miami has one of the best run defense in the league. I think they're going to shut down the running game, and Peyton Manning, like you said, has struggled against the Miami secondary, which is probably the best in the league, and I'm taking Miami.
You know, Jim, didn't you pick Indy to win the Super Bowl?
I did.
But you're going against them right there. Marvin
by
Harrison has a compliment by the name of Reggie Wayne. I'm going with Indy because you're going with Miami.
I saw Miami this past Monday night against San Diego, and I'll tell you what, they only played half the game on offense. I want to see Brian Griese give me more, and I don't expect it's going to happen this week. Now Miami's in a tough stretch here, fellas.
Go
I
pick
like
Indy.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
I do like
There you go.
Indianapolis.
You got a split vote. You're up on the Monday night game.
Well, the Patriots and the Broncos, 2 teams here. The Broncos are a team that's trying to hang on until Jake Plummer gets back, but the Broncos are really a one-dimensional team. with Clinton Portis running the football. But the Patriots haven't given up a 100-yard rusher all year. I'm picking the Patriots in this one.
Denver's lost the last couple. I smell desperation. Do you smell it, fellas? I smell desperation.
That's what I
They need
smell.
a bad win. Cannell, second week starting, had a little more
Good.
time
Pick
to work.
Denver.
And you know what? I'm picking Denver because they're going to run Portis to death.
I thought that smell was your aftershave, Dion. I don't know about that. Danny Cannell now starting. Ian Gold, John Mobley out of the game. I'll tell you what, Bill Belichick and his staff have done a remarkable job. Denver, one of the most difficult places to play in with the most passionate fans. I'm going to go with New England on the road. I've gone against them the last few weeks and been burned by it. I think Belichick's going to figure out a way to stop Clinton Portis.
All right. Of course, you will be there for Westwood One Radio on Monday night. I'm going to go with Denver. A Mile High on a Monday night. Denver is the
Trying
play.
to make it up, Mark.
St.
St.
Louis,
Louis,
San
San
Francisco.
Fran, Bolger 10-2 as a starter. The Rams averaged over 30 points in the last 4 games. They lead the league in time of possession. Holtz averaging 134 yards per game in the past 4. I tell you what, 49ers has a banged-up secondary. San Fran on a seesaw. That's why I'm going with St. Louis.
Hey, no Jeff Garcia in this game. Tim Rattay takes over as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He's going to have to keep this guy happy, Terrell Owens. I like St. Louis. They have been flying high, as Danny said earlier in the show. I'm going to stay with the Rams.
I'm with you on this one, Bolger. That was a big win last week at Pittsburgh to prove they could win on the road. That had been a big question mark. Rattay's first career start. Not going to happen here.
Well, I'm
Rams.
really impressed with Bolger, especially in those tough conditions last week. How he played, it was outstanding. Just distributing the ball over the place. The offensive line is gelling. They're running the football. I'm taking St. Louis.
All right, Pittsburgh, Seattle, Boomer.
Seattle's won 4 straight at home this year, fellas. Pittsburgh has only won once in their history in Seattle. Tommy Maddox turning the football over. Hines Ward actually is still playing well for them, but Plaxico Burress has disappeared. I expect Tommy Maddox to throw a few interceptions. I'm going to stay with the home team here in Seattle.
And they are a far better team at home. I mean, this is one of the great disparities of home versus being away. Seattle, they've won every game so far this year. They're 4-0 at home. I like the Seahawks today.
Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have one offensive drive over 5 plays last week. They're not playing well offensively. They look out of sync. Tommy Maddox getting too much pressure. 9 sacks last 2 weeks. I'm taking Seattle.
This is so ironic. All of you picked Pittsburgh last week. You was a Tommy Maddox fan. You had his pom-poms and you had his cleats. But all of you don't want Maddox this year, and I don't either. I'm picking Seattle.
All right, so we got a clean sweep
I
there.
would not carry his pom-poms.
We are back
no
with
way.
more on the NFL today in just a moment. Let's listen in, though. Check it out. Ray Lewis revving up the Ravens.
Tommy Maddox fan.
They in our way. They are in our way. We are in our way from going 5-3 in that damn division. It's up to us to make sure it don't happen. What time is it? Game time! Game time! It doesn't happen! It doesn't happen! What time is it? Game time! Game time! It doesn't happen! It doesn't happen! It's the way!
The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 38.
All right, LaDainian Tomlinson greeting some of the military personnel there in Chicago. We welcome you back to the NFL Today. And again, our special guest, Kansas City quarterback Trent Green. And it's been great to have you here. Indianapolis, Miami coming up for many folks. How do you see that game today?
Well, I tell you what, you can never second-guess Indianapolis with the way they came back against Tampa Bay. But I like Miami's secondary is going to make it tough on Peyton all day. But it's going to be one of the best games of the day.
You know what, Trent? I don't even know how you can sit on the same stage with these guys. They lie so much.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look at their picks. How they really feel about you.
That's right.
This is what? This is Billy Callahan announced this week that Jerry Porter will be back. We've been waiting for that to happen. I'll take the Raiders here as well.
You know what? The only one that's giving us any love were you, Dan. That's the only one. The only one.
How did I pick Buffalo? I picked Buffalo last week. That must have been out of my mind.
Yeah, it's been that was our first opportunity because we're always playing on Sunday. So at the Monday night game, we got to check out the picks. I couldn't believe you guys all went against.
Listen, man, you guys understand, I went to Oakland. I was actually there at the game.
You had to
take my
pick
life in my own
Oakland.
hands.
That's
Come
right.
on.
You're my fantasy quarterback in my guru league, so
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm always watching you closely.
Traded him last week.
No, I did not. Oakland today. What do you see with Oakland against Detroit?
Well, I tell you what, last time we played them was on Monday night, and their defense had their best game of the year. And the way Tuiasosopo came in the second half and brought them back in the fourth quarter, they definitely have things going. And with the bye week to prepare, they're going to be tough today.
So Gannon's done, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say that now. never count him out. Never count him out.
Hey, Trent, thanks again, pal. Maybe we'll
you for
see you in
having me.
January on up to February 1st in Houston.
Sounds good.
luck
I
to you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, we want to say hello to our dear friend Mike Ditka, who just had hip surgery yesterday, full recovery expected. Coach, look forward to seeing you back out on the golf course real soon. We're thinking of you back here on the NFL Today. Game time fast approaching. Enjoy it all right here on CBS.
Welcome to South Florida and to a matchup of teams that are two of the best in the AFC, the 6-1 Colts and the 5-2 Miami Dolphins. And hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. You know, there's only one football game all day long today that involves two teams with winning records, and it's this one here today. It matches up a Miami defense that's allowed the fewest points in the NFL against a Colts offense that has allowed the second most in the national, or has scored the second most in the National Football League. Phil, your Chevrolet keys to this game.
Well, Greg, there's a couple big keys to this game today. The Indianapolis Colts, one of their big weaknesses, stopping the run. They're dreading stopping Ricky Williams. They have to do that to give themselves a chance to win. On the other side, the Miami defense, it's all about not giving up the big pass play to Peyton Manning, to Marvin Harrison. If you do that, it gives you a good chance to win.
Ricky Williams and the Dolphins, Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. We'll come back to Pro Player Stadium after this from your local station.
To the following presentation of the National Football League on CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 38. This broadcast is brought to you in high definition by DirecTV.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League.
Today, it's a classic quarterback matchup. Greasy and Manning. No, not those guys. Their son, Miami's Brian, and Indy's Peyton meet in a modern-day quarterback battle. The Colts take on the Dolphins. Next. Indy getting set to take on Miami. Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium, everyone. On the visitors' sideline is head coach Tony Dungy of the Colts. His 8th year as a head coach, his 2nd with the Indianapolis Colts, and he's got Indianapolis right up top, the AFC South, trying to stay ahead of the Tennessee Titans. On the home side of the field is Dave Wanstead in his 4th season as the head man here in Miami, and his Dolphins also in the dogfight atop their division, the AFC East. The New England Patriots leading the way at 6-2 in Miami, right behind at 5-2. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan controlling the sidelines. The Miami Dolphins have won the toss and have elected to receive. And from talking to both these teams, you get the impression, Phil, that they feel this is a very good test for each side.
Yeah, they're both excited. They want to see, as usual, coaches want to see where they're at. Tony Dungy said it perfectly. We want to go on the road. Rough atmosphere. We want to find out if our team answers some of the critics and show everybody that we're tough.
Mike Vanderjagt to kick. Travis Minor is deep and we're underway in Miami. This is Minor at the 8. And comes up at about the 25-yard line. 18-yard return, and there is Brian Greasy making his 2nd consecutive start. The Dolphins' offensive line will have rookie Wade Smith at left tackle. He's charged with protecting Brian Greasy's blind side. And the backs and receivers. Ricky Williams is the man on the mind of each and every Colt defender. First down Dolphins at their own 25-yard line. They come out with a double tight end setup and Greasy to throw on first down. Incomplete to the far side of the field. Intended for Donald Lee. Indy's defense. Josh Williams starts a tackle for Monte Rager. Dwight Freeney, the 2nd-year defensive end from Syracuse, the main pain for opposing quarterbacks. Tony Dungy credits his ever-improving linebackers for a lot of his improving defense. David Thornton, the leading tackler. And the secondary, cornerback Nick Harper, 3 interceptions this year, one of which he returned 75 yards for a touchdown. 2nd and 10, and Ricky Williams is the lone back. Williams gets the handoff. Pretty interesting this week that Ricky Williams was pretty vocal about throwing the ball on first down rather than running it. Ricky stressing that the Dolphins have been running it about 70% of the time on first down, and Greasy comes out and throws.
Well, he's just being a team player, Greg. It's not criticism of the coaches or anybody. He just wants everybody to be involved. But I'll tell you why they don't throw it more on first down. The very first play of the game, Brian Greasy, play action pass. Josh Williams hits him. They can't protect the quarterback well enough to throw it a lot.
Greasy, far side of the field, incomplete. Pass intended for Chris Chambers, and a flag comes out. David Macklin was defending. Our referee today is Tom White.
There's no defensive pass interference in this play. We're picking up the foul. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
Let's take a look. David Macklin against Chris Chambers. A blitz by the Indianapolis Colts. Little hand contact down the field. The flag is picked up.
So Greasy with an 0 for 2 start throwing the ball. He completed 15 of his first 16 a week ago.
Under pressure both times by the Colts defense, though.
Matt Turk kick it away. Brad Pyatt is deep. Pyatt. Down at about the 38-yard line of the Colts. Tommy Hendricks with the stop. And Archie Manning's son, Peyton. Look at the numbers he has thus far in a terrific season. The Colts have allowed just 4 quarterback sacks. That's tops in the NFL. This week, left tackle Tariq Glenn back from injury after missing 2 games. Manning has all kinds of weapons, including one of the most dangerous receivers in the game in 4-time Pro Bowler Marvin Harrison. And we have a player down on the field, a couple of players down on the field. Brad Pyatt is the Colt. Tommy Hendricks. Oh, and there's the head-on collision between the two.
It looked like Tommy Hendricks, watch his helmet, hits the shoulder pad.
We'll take a break and come back. Brad Pyatt, the rookie out of Northern Colorado, the number 3 kickoff returner in the league, is still on his back as a result of this hit with Tommy Hendricks. Just look and listen. Helmet on helmet. Hendricks has walked off the field and is on the Miami sideline. There's Tommy Hendricks. But they've brought the stretcher out for Brad Pyatt.
Well, Greg, I watched it, heard the hit. It was very loud. Brad Pyatt has moved around on the ground, so that should.
Well, we would hope that would be a good sign. We'll wait and see.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Friendly, nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, stylish midsize L300, and the fun-to-drive Ion. And by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
As we welcome you back to South Florida, they are still tending to Brad Pyatt on the field. If you're just joining us, he and Tommy Hendricks had a head-on collision on a punt return. Hendricks is on the sideline and appears to be doing okay for Miami, but they've brought the stretcher out. There's Tommy Hendricks. But as you can see, they've brought the stretcher out and are tending to Pyatt on the field before wheeling him off.
Greg, I was trying to say earlier, it's a very sensitive situation always when a player is down on the field. But for Brad Pyatt's family, I have seen him move his legs. I did see some movement, but anytime you're talking about head injuries, they're going to be extremely careful. They're very sensitive too, so they're taking all the precautions. They want him to stop moving, and they're going to, I'm sure, immobilize his neck and his head and make sure they have all the facts before they determine what to do.
Now, the Indianapolis Colts have yet to run an offensive play. The offense will take the field once Brad Pyatt has been safely removed and is en route to a medical facility.
And of course, for everybody out there, as soon as we get any information about his condition, we'll relay it on the air immediately.
as we have come to expect. They're not going to rush things, and now appear to be getting the stretcher in better position. You know, we've seen this thing maybe a handful of times in the games that we've been doing, Phil, over the last 6 years, and it's strange. You never quite know what to feel. Your reaction, of course, is oh no, and you hope that it's not serious. And most of the time, they aren't serious. Just that every once in a while comes that serious injury that comes along with playing this game.
Well, Greg, that's true too. But I think the biggest thing is, and I said it already, is that we're just so sensitive to it. He has a family, a lot of friends, or anybody out there. So we'll wait to make our comments and get more information, and then relay it to the fans and to his family as soon as we get it.
You see the Colts one by one flocking toward the stretcher, and now Brad Pyatt will be moving off. And Bill Polian, the president of the Colts, says that he will get us information as soon as it becomes available.
Now the other thing is too that this, you said it has happened a few times in games. They're very well equipped what to do in situations like this. You can see him moving his hands too, which is always a good sign. So we just hope everything turns out well.
Well, the Miami fans give Brad Pyatt a round of applause as he is taken from the field, and now the Colts will have to refocus and get back down to the business of playing football. And another round of applause as he heads out of the stadium and up the runway. So back to the game, and the Colts first down from their own 39-yard line. Manning will start from the shotgun. Give to Ezra and James. James with running room up the middle, out to about the 45-yard line. The defensive front for Miami. Wale Ogunleye has exploded on the pass rushing scene this year. He has 7 sacks. Defensive signal caller Zach Thomas will play a huge role today, trying to counter Peyton Manning. And the secondary boasts 11 interceptions. Cornerback Patrick Surtain has 6 of them to tie him for the NFL lead.
Not surprised by the no-huddle offense by the Indianapolis Colts.
Manning looking, throws, incomplete. Edgerrin James tried to slide out to the side. It'll be 3rd and 4, and we check in with Armin.
Greg, I have some preliminary information on Brad Pyatt, courtesy of Bill Polian, as you mentioned, the president of the Colts. He told me there is no neck pain. That was what he was told by the doctors on the field. The pain is in Brad's sternum. He says, I don't think it's in the neck area. I'll keep you posted.
All right, Armin. 3rd and 4. Manning throws in and out of the arms of Edgerrin James. It would have been enough for a first down. It falls incomplete, and the punting unit comes on.
Good job by the Miami Dolphins defense. The Colts hoping to spread the defense out, get rid of Junior Seau, make them move outside the hashes, and they wanted to run the ball with Edgerrin James or throw it to him, and neither one of them was very successful on the first drive.
Sam Simmons is deep for the Colts, or rather for the Dolphins. Hunter Smith to kick it away for Indy. High kick, fair catch called for and made by Simmons. Back at about the 7-yard line. 13:01 to play in the first quarter. 47-yard punt. We're scoreless in Miami.
Armin Katayan back here in South Florida. Some better news now on Brad Pyatt, especially for his parents watching at home back in Colorado. I'm told by Bill Polian he's got movement in all 4 extremities. He's wide awake. He's coherent. He said the pain remains in his chest, but right now things are looking good for Brad Pyatt. Greg?
Good news, Armin. Thanks. Ricky Williams and Rob Conrad in the backfield behind Greasy on first down, and this is Williams. Williams out to about the 9-yard line, and we talked earlier about Ricky Williams maybe pushing for more passing on first down. The question is, how do you bridge that gap? Because you know the Miami Dolphins want to get Ricky Williams on the ground game as soon as possible.
Well, that's right. They want to get it going. The Colts know they're going to run the football, and yeah, the Miami Dolphins would love to open up their offense a little more, Greg, but it just comes down to this: they can't, and we've already seen it. They are not protecting the quarterback well enough to come out here and throw it 30, 40 times a game.
And back into the end zone. No, they're going to say that he's down at the 1-yard line.
Chad Bradsky comes in. Now a backup comes in. He's fresh. They are taking advantage of Smith. There you go, the left tackle. Having trouble, gets outside, and Chad Bradsky overpowers him for the sack. 3 passes by Brian Griese. Under pressure all 3 times.
Line of scrimmage is at the 1-yard line. Wade Smith is a rookie in the 3rd round draft choice of the Miami Dolphins. He's on the left side. So it's now 3rd and 17 from the 1.
Now this time he's got to block Dwight Freeney.
Williams out across the 5 to about the 6-yard line.
And this Indianapolis Colts defense, they know the weak spot of this Miami football team is the offensive line, is the pass protection, and they want to pick on Wade Smith, the rookie left tackle.
So Matt Turk will kick out of his own end zone. And number 86, Troy Walters, will be the return man now for Indianapolis. High. Walters from the 44 to midfield and spins into Miami territory where Marlon Greenwood makes the stop. 49-yard punt, 8-yard return, and Manning and the Colts back on offense after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Hey, when playing fantasy sports, it's a slam dunk decision to use CBS Sportsline. They offer games for every level of play from beginner to expert. Join a league or start your own today by clicking on fantasy at cbssportsline.com. Good field position from Manning and the Colts. At the Miami 48. We talked about it at the beginning of the day. The Colts are the 2nd best offense in the league up against the best defense, the Miami Dolphins. Penalty marker is down as James gets maybe a yard on the play. And it's going to be against the Dolphins.
Holding. Number 92. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic. First down.
That's on Jeff Scanina, who's getting the start at defensive tackle today in place of an injured Larry Chester.
Greg, getting ready for this game this week, I think a couple of things came up when I was watching the Indianapolis Colts. One that kind of surprised me, and when we talked to Tony Dungy, he brought it up and said it's true. What we saw is that the Colts offense is much more patient this year than it has been in years past, mainly because now they know their defense can play well too.
Manning still with the ball. Down deep for Reggie Wayne. Tipped away inside the 5-yard line and incomplete. Sam Madison got back to get a hand on the ball.
Sam Madison got back there, and so did Brock Marion. The #1 key for the Miami Dolphins defense, we do not want to give up the big pass play, so that means they're looking for him down the field, and both safeties, Brock Marion and Sammy Knight, will stay deep to help the defenders against them.
Goes to the line quickly again. And straight ahead is James to the 40. We have an NFL Today report from New York. Here's Jim Nantz.
All right, fellas, you remember last week Todd Heap had a couple of catches overturned by replay. Didn't take long for Billick to get him into the swing of things today. With 3 defenders on him, he's in from 33 yards out, 7-0. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
You know, those Baltimore Ravens look like the kind of team nobody really wants to run into these days.
Well, the quarterback looks like he's doing better, throwing it much better than he was early in the season.
3rd and 8 for Manning. and he goes down. Jay Williams, number 91. Manning is sacked for only the 5th time all season.
Couple reasons why Peyton Manning does not get sacked much. One is that, there's Jay Williams, one, he gets rid of the football, but maybe more importantly, his receivers get open down the field fast. Today, going against this Miami Dolphins defense, they won't get open as quick as he is used to.
Simmons back at his own 10. Hunter Smith, sky-high punt. Fair catch called for and made at about the 11-yard line. We have a marker down back upfield. Holding call is against Indianapolis.
Holding, number 48, on a kicking team, 10-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
Greg, you said it right. Sky-high kick. It's windy out on the field today. It swirls around down here in this stadium. Sam Simmons, that took some courage and talent, both of them, to catch that football.
Well, Tony Dungy is optimistic about a lot of aspects of his football team. Special teams is one of them. He said Hunter the punter is having a pretty good year for us.
Oh, now you're a rep guy, huh?
This is a line drive, more of a line drive kick, but another fair catch called for, and this one ends up at the 13-yard line. 47-yard punt. Those are the kinds of environs we have to put up with around here. What's this world coming to? This week on NFL.com, Nick Carucci hands out his midseason awards. See who he says is making a difference this year. It's only at NFL.com or at NFL on AOL. For the second straight drive, Miami starts inside its own 15-yard line. Greasy calls a signal. Here's Ricky Williams, and Williams gets tripped up back behind the line of scrimmage, and we have a marker on the far side.
Brian Greasy used the snap count. The Indianapolis Colts coming out being very aggressive on defense, blitzing again.
Offside, number 93, defense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Well, for years, it's the Indianapolis defense that it was felt has been the Achilles heel of the Colt franchise, and Tony Dungy has come in and changed all that around. He said the first thing he did for them was told them that he had confidence in them and they could do it. They have responded well.
That's some new players and a lot of different coaching techniques kind of comes together and makes it better.
Williams across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Rob Morris with the stop.
Now you look at Brian Greasy, now the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, and Dave Wanstead will want nothing more for him to play really well and stop a quarterback debate. They could come up down here in Miami when Jay Fiedler gets healthy. Jay Fiedler is the 3rd quarterback today, so I don't think he would have been able to play regardless of the situation because of the knee injury.
2nd and 1. Here comes the blitz. Picked up by Williams. The pass is incomplete, intended for McMichael. Good job by Williams picking up the blitz. Passing yardage so far, Indy is -10 and Miami is -8. Greasy got the start last week in San Diego, completed 20 of 29 and threw for 3 touchdowns, and left no doubt, as you look at his career numbers, left no doubt in Dave Wanstead's mind that he was going to start this week.
Yeah, last week was the perfect environment to come in and be the starting quarterback. There's his father, Bob Greasy, made it in for the game today. Good protection, open receivers. Brian Greasy took advantage of it last week.
Williams twisting forward, looking for 1st down yardage, and he appears to have it.
Looks like he did get the 1st down, but just go back to Brian Greasy, though, Greg. Again, just because he's now in there at quarterback, the Miami Dolphins are not going to change on offense. They're not protecting well, so they won't throw it a lot. They're going to do what they did when Jay Fiedler was in there. The way Dave Wanstead runs his football team, he's going to manage the game, do what he thinks is important, run the clock down, run the football, and when the opportunities are there, he hopes his quarterback can take advantage of it.
You saw Jay Fiedler there on the sideline, and Dave Wannstedt says a couple of things combined for Brian Greasy to play here. One of them, Fiedler wasn't playing as well as he could. That pass incomplete, intended for Darius Thompson. And the other, of course, was Greasy's health with the bum knee.
One thing I think Brian Greasy does extremely well, doesn't look at the spiral, the spin. Will really help him down here in South Florida where it can get quite breezy. We were practicing on Friday. The wind was blowing 25 to 30 miles an hour, and he threw the ball extremely well.
Greasy yet to complete a pass today. 2nd and 10. Williams. And not much there. Rob Morris with the stop.
Well, I'll tell you why there's not much there, because this Indianapolis Colts defense is daring the Miami Dolphins to throw the football. They got everybody up inside trying to stop the run. Just look. 4 defensive linemen. Here come the linebackers. You can see the safety comes up to help out. Even Brian Greasy said it's almost challenging. It is every team they're playing now is just daring you to throw the football down the field.
3rd and 10, and Greasy on the move, being chased from behind, throws down the sideline. It is out of bounds. Picked off by Dries Bashir, but out of bounds, and it'll be a punting situation.
Boy, another good series for the Indianapolis Colts defense. And I think for Miami to start having success, they are absolutely going to have to throw the football to spread out the defense and give Ricky Williams a chance to run it.
That's Troy Walters back for the kick from Matt Turk. High floating kick. Fair catch called for and made at about the 28 or 29 yard line. 46-yard punt and no return. We have 6:34 to play in a scoreless game. Welcome back to Miami. The line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line. It has not been a glorious day on offense as yet for either team. Each team with a first down, and as you mentioned during the break, Phil, this is the 6th possession already. And we have 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Sometimes in an NFL game, you do not get 6 possessions in the whole first half.
Manning play fakes, looks this side, and heads a completion across the middle to Brandon Stokely. That'll be out to about the 37 or the 38-yard line.
Brandon Stokely, this would be the Indianapolis Colts answer to Wayne Corbett. Somebody that can take pressure off of the other wide receivers. Nice move on the inside, fakes going across, stops and comes back. Tony Dungy said he was going to get more playing time today, and they hope it becomes a big part of the offense.
Edgerrin James not going to get the first down. Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas comes into this game today with 82 tackles. When he reaches 100, it will be 7 consecutive seasons. Third and 1. James, cut back, gets first down yardage out to the 45.
If it's 3rd and 1, you would think the running back just take the football and run it up in there really hard and get 1 yard. But watch Edgerrin James. He takes his time, stutter steps, cuts back, and then picks up quite a few yards because of patience. That must be, that's a talent. That must be very hard for a running back to do on 3rd and short.
Manning now on first down. James again. And James hit the line of scrimmage, pulls forward for about a yard. That was Junior Seau with first contact.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the Indianapolis Colts want to spread their offense out. It's because Junior Seau can make as fast as reads on running plays as anybody that plays linebacker in the National Football League. We've watched it, we've seen it. Zach Thomas says it's really incredible how he can make a decision and just go with it and be right.
Manning over the middle. Here comes Harrison. And Harrison is wrapped up at about the 46, looked about a yard shy of a first down. We check in with Jim Nance in New York. Jim.
All right, guys, an update on the Raiders. It's been a shaky start for Tuiasosopo. He's been picked. He fumbled, although it was recovered. And after a Jerry Rice fumble, well, looky here. It's Olandis Gary in for the Lions. They lead 10-0. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
We're under 4 minutes to play for the first quarter. 3rd and 1. Kane. It's going to be close.
Looks like it might be a little short. If it is, I would expect the Indianapolis Colts to go for it on 4th down. You know, you watch this Colts offense, Greg. Looks like Tony Dungy is in no hurry here to call the play. I thought he might wait, let the play clock run down and call a timeout and talk about it, but we're going to go with it.
James slipped. And the Dolphins take over.
When you get in situations like this in the National Football League, a lot of times it just comes down whose guys are stronger and bigger. Can you just push the defensive lineman back just enough to get 6 inches? And the answer is no. The Miami Dolphins defensive line gets into the backfield, nowhere for Edgerrin James to run to.
This was as much a baseball stadium as a football stadium just a few weeks ago, and the infield sodded. Miami takes over with good field position for the first time today, and Ricky Williams up the middle to about midfield.
Well, that's as good a run as we've seen today from Ricky Williams. Why is he not getting any yards? Just watch the number of Colt defensive players that are crowding near the line of scrimmage. They're all up there except one person. They're keeping Mike Doss, the rookie safety, back. Dries Bashir, the other safety, always coming up near the line of scrimmage, trying to stop the run.
All 7 is carried right up the middle on the blitz. Greasy going to throw, has his man open, caught McMichael. McMichael inside the 10, inside the 5, 1st and goal. Brian Greasy's first completion's a dandy.
Well, they're begging them. They're just saying you're going to have to throw the football down the field. McMichaels is just going to come out, run right down the seam. Nobody back there to really help the defender, and Brian Greasy throws a perfect pass. If they keep crowding the line of scrimmage, you have to throw the football down the field. The Dolphins have been lacking big pass plays so far this season.
Ricky Williams straight ahead to about the 3. The 46-yard reception is Randy McMichael's longest of his career.
It goes back. We talked to Norv Turner on Friday, and what did he say? I've told the receivers on this football team, let's just be more competitive. And what he means is when a play like that in past weeks, all the receivers seem to drop those catches that are a little bit hard. And he says just compete, make the play. That time Randy McMichael did it, and it's going to result in some points for the Miami Dolphins.
2nd and goal. Look at the Dolphins red zone offense. Outstanding. Williams cuts it back to the end zone. Touchdown.
It really helps when you have one of the best running backs in the National Football League running for you. Rob Conrad gets a block, but Ricky Williams finds the right hole, uses his speed to get there, and power to run over a defender for the touchdown.
Ricky Williams' first touchdown in his last 75 carries. Murray's extra point is good. 41 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Ricky Williams and the Dolphins are on the board first. It's 7-0 Miami. Four plays, 53 yards for the Dolphins. The big play, the 46-yarder to Randy McMichael, results in Ricky Williams for the touchdown.
Let's take a look at the long pass that Brian Griese throws down the field to Randy McMichael into the wind. The perfect spiral. When you throw perfect spirals, especially when it's windy, you are helping the receivers. Much easier for them to catch the football. Brian Griese, I've said this when he was at the Denver Broncos, I say it again now, underrated physically as a quarterback. Tremendous feet, dropping back, moving in the pocket, really very good, and throws a pretty pass that's very easy for wide receivers to catch.
Mari's kick. This is Troy Walters. 20. Hit hard at the 20-yard line by Sean Wooden, number 22.
Well, we've talked about Brian Griese. Let's talk about a little bit about why Peyton Manning is such an outstanding NFL quarterback. One, he has tremendous size, 6'6", and he plays tall. Tireless worker, nobody can outwork him. He understands the game like nobody else. When you're that good, they build the offense around you. Helps to have a really good wide receiver in Marvin Harrison, and he's made every start in his career so far.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's just a few of the reasons why.
Edgerrin James right side for a couple. And the clock now coming up on 25 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, you know, Greg, a lot of things are always said about quarterbacks, and you talk about them, and you know, you follow it enough now, being on the road for so many years. I don't think you can overstate the importance and the ability and how good Peyton Manning is. And you really understand it when you get around the teams, both teams, coaches, and all the players. They tell you too.
He gets the snap off just before the quarter expires. Quick pass is incomplete, intended for Reggie Wayne. And with that, we come to the end of the first quarter. We've played 15 minutes. Miami, Ricky Williams, the touchdown run. The Dolphins lead it 7-0. We're coming back to Pro Player Stadium in just a moment. This is the NFL on CBS. One of the big questions of this day, could the Miami defense keep Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis offense in check? They have done very well in the first half, as you saw there. Jason Taylor was pretty funny in this morning's edition of the newspaper, talking about all of the machinations that Peyton Manning goes through on offense. He says, sometimes you just want to say, just call the play and do it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons why this Colts offense is really good. And all those, what's that word, machinations?
Sorry.
Whatever it is.
3rd and 7.
It works.
Manning with time, throws, almost intercepted.
Exactly what Peyton Manning talked to us about last night. When you throw to your left side as a quarterback against the Miami Dolphins, Sam Madison loves to come off his receiver and look inside. I've seen him make many interceptions doing exactly that. Watch Sam Madison to the outside. Oh, that is awesome. Just immediately roll around off of his player. Anticipates the quarterback making the throw, but he just dropped the interception.
Sam Simmons is deep for the punt from Hunter Smith. This is a line drive kick. It's going to bounce. Simmons from the 25, 35. 45-yard line. A fine return by Sam Simmons. Donald Strickland with the stop after a 51-yard punt. A 20-yard return and a great night of television. CBS Monday begins with Yes Dear and Still Standing. Then it's the Emmy Award-winning Best Comedy Everybody Loves Raymond and the new hit comedy 2.5 Men, followed by Monday's #1 drama CSI Miami, plus an all-new late show with David Letterman. Monday here on CBS, America's Most Watched Network.
See the breeze that the players are dealing with, but Greg, going back that Peyton Manning, you remember what he said? Sam Madison will turn off of his guy and run to somebody else's receiver, and almost worked for him again.
Screen for Williams. Williams hit from behind and will get a yard or two out of it. Dwight Freeney, and a quick Dwight Freeney coming from the near side to put the stop on that play.
Yeah, quick might be an understatement when you talk about Dwight Freeney. If he lined up, there he is, a defensive end. If he lined up and got in a foot race with Ricky Williams, I don't know who I'd pick. That's how fast he is. He ran, for people who kind of follow it, 4.38. Most running backs in the National Football League cannot do that. That's what he ran coming out of college. And it shows on the field.
This is Williams. Williams, a little stagger step and breaks across midfield and into Colt territory to the 48-yard line. Marcus Washington with the stop. Let's go back and take a look at Dwight Freeney.
Well, he relies on his speed, number 93, going against Wade Smith, a rookie. Knocked him down with his blow by the hands into Wade Smith's chest. I thought it was kind of funny last night. We're talking to Dwight Freeney, and he referred to Wade Smith as the rookie.
The youngster.
Yeah, he's a rookie. I go, Dwight, you're in your second year. Listen to you.
Greasy from the shotgun. Freeney knocks the ball loose, picked off by the Colts. The Colts recover at the 45-yard line. Raheem Brock fell on it, but Dwight Freeney beat his man around the corner.
That's right. One of the reasons why we've talked about it, why the Dolphins can't always throw the football, but Dwight Freeney, you cannot leave him single blocked all the time by the offensive tackle, especially when that tackle is a young guy in Wade Smith. The speed. Wade Smith watched all week. He says, I got him. I know he's fast. But when you get on the field and you see it for real, you go, he's faster than I thought. Because that film lies to the players every once in a while.
Miami Dolphins have lost a fumble in each and every game this season. First down, Colts at the Miami 45. Manning flips it out to James, and James straight ahead, inside the 40, inside the 35 to the 32.
Well, the Colts have to do something to get this Miami defense to slow it down and sit back a little bit. They're reacting, they're being very aggressive, so they fake the run, they fake the reverse, they throw the screen, you spread out the defense, and it allows Edgerrin James to run and pick up some good yards.
That's Patrick Surtain with the hit, and Surtain is still on the turf at about the 33-yard line. That 14-yard pickup was the longest Indianapolis play of the day on offense. So while they tend to Surtain, will tend to some business. 13:01 to play in the first half. Patrick Surtain on the sideline, walked off the field. Jamar Fletcher has replaced him at corner. First down, Indy. Just inside the 30-yard line. Zach Thomas, we talked to Zach Thomas about Peyton, and then Peyton comes in and we talk to him about Zach Thomas, and it's like two grand chess masters going at each other.
It's so funny because one says something they want to do, the other one knows that what the other one wants to do, and they're looking for this and that. It is funny, and they see who can put it together fastest on the field.
James out there, and so is Zach Thomas. Remember very clearly Peyton telling us that you'll do this and you'll do that and everything will be set, and then he'll look across and Zach Thomas will say, watch out for this, and you go, dang.
Oh yeah, that's the play we're going to run, but Zach Thomas in coverage. The Colts always talk about they want to isolate Zach Thomas against Edgerrin James. That time, Zach Thomas wins the battle, but Zach Thomas on the other side says, I know they want to isolate me, so when he thinks he's in that situation, he'll make a defensive call, and they'll double Edgerrin James in a pass route.
3rd and 11. Comes the blitz. Manning lofts one over the middle, incomplete, intended for Marvin Harrison. And a lot of pressure on Manning up the middle.
Pressure makes quarterbacks just average throwers and average decision makers. If Peyton Manning has a split second more time, Marvin Harrison's going to catch the football and probably run for a touchdown. I could not even see the defender who was covering him going across the field.
Mike Vanderjagt, #1 all-time in field goal percentage. Going to attempt one from 50 yards out. Kick is on its way, and it is good. So the Miami fumble turns into 3 points for the Colts. 7-3 Dolphins.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment. TGI Fridays. Come in now for double glazed baby back ribs. Glazed twice for a one-of-a-kind taste. And by Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
The 50-yard field goal by Mike Vanderjagt was the 14th of 50 or more in his career. On the kickoff, Travis Minor to the 25. Out to about the 30-yard line, and that's where Brian Griese and the Dolphins will go to work on offense. Offensively today for the Dolphins, led by Griese. A punt, touchdown, and then the Griese fumble on the tremendous hit from Freeney. I think we've all been interested, Phil, to see what kind of a quarterback Brian Griese would be here in Miami compared to his days in Denver, where he freely admits he put a great deal of pressure on himself.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. He says, I'm going to enjoy it a little more down here this time.
Going to throw it on first down. Has time. Has his man, McMichael across the 45 to about the 48 or 49-yard line, and that's a first down.
Well, if they dare you to throw the football, just don't throw it short. Go down the field. Play action, fake. You have a weapon in the backfield in Ricky Williams. He's a weapon running the football, but he's even a bigger weapon when it comes to faking it to him, letting your receivers get separation away from the line of scrimmage and open down the field. That time, McMichael was.
So Griese has two big gainers to McMichael, and here's Ricky Williams straight ahead across midfield and into Indianapolis territory. We go down to Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, you talk about Brian Griese and the difference, and it's really his difference is the smile on his face. We saw it on Friday. A much more open, relaxed, and affable Griese that we'd ever seen in the 6 years. He said, I learned a lot from my situation in Denver. He said, I was holding on so tight, trying to follow in the footsteps of John Elway and to win that elusive Super Bowl. He said, it just got away from me. I put more pressure on myself, leading to this downward spiral. He's definitely in a different spiral here, going up. Greg?
Armin, thank you. He is looking now from the 48-yard line, has time, flips it out here to the sideline. Ricky Williams, and Williams, he avoids one tackler, but not the second.
Well, I want to say this, Armin, that was really well said, and that's what we noticed too. And I noticed it in practice. I noticed when we talked to him. I watched him around the locker room. You know, when we talked about the difference that we saw in Brian Griese, we were actually talking to Dave Wannstedt, the head coach, and he couldn't believe it. Really? Well, he didn't know the Brian Griese out in Denver. He only knows the quarterback and the person he has seen here, and it is a different scenario. He's running a different offense, and he is definitely acting a lot different too.
On 3rd and 8, throws to the far side, in and out of the hands of McMichael, and that'll force a punting situation. And the word we get from downstairs regarding Brad Pyatt is only good news, that he is walking around inside the Indianapolis Colts locker room. I'm sure they'll keep close tabs on him for the rest of the day, but that's great news.
Yeah, it is, Greg. That's the word. It's great. And we're glad to hear that and hope it makes everybody feel a lot better.
Turk. High floating kick. Walters, fair catch call for, and then lets it bounce. It rolls inside the 10-yard line, and that's where it's going to be down. 39-yard punt and a dandy by Matt Turk. 9:05 to play in the first half. 7-3 Miami. A reminder, the Nextel halftime report upcoming. Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer have today's scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Nextel halftime report. Patrick Surtain back in the lineup on the Dolphin defense at cornerback as Manning and company go to work from their own 10-yard line. Breaks free across the 15 and out to the 20, and that'll be enough for a first down. Talk about a patient run. Edgerrin James just picked his way through the line.
Patience. You think he's got a little bit of power in those legs too? Peyton Manning finally gets the play that he wants. Just breaking the tackles, hard running, and it looks like both offenses, if the runners want to get any yards, they're going to have to break some tackles and do it on their own.
More running room for James, and he's out to the 30 and looks to have another first down.
Good call, good job by the Indianapolis Colts offense. The blocking up front, the first really good hole you've seen down the field. Zach Thomas blocked that time. Look at Jason Taylor on the outside going against Tarek Glenn. Well, Jason Taylor's going up the field thinking pass. If it's not, somebody else has got to make the tackle on the run.
On the ground is Rob Burnett, the 14-year veteran out of Syracuse. You saw Jason Taylor going up against Tarek Glenn. It was big to this Indianapolis lineup that Glenn came back. He missed the last 2 games, and that had ended a 101-game consecutive streak for him. And he's been a constant for Peyton Manning on the left side.
You know that too, and one thing too I noticed on that run by Edgerrin James is Rick DeMoling got out and blocked Zach Thomas to the ground, and Zach Thomas says the Indianapolis Colts playing them was a little different than playing most of the teams in the National Football League. If they got a lineman where there's not a defensive lineman over them, those guys just run right to the linebackers. Usually linemen like to double team the big guys and then come off and try to block a linebacker. Not the Colts. Go right after the linebackers, knock them down, and if Edgerrin James gets past the line of scrimmage, that's why they get big runs.
2 runs by James, 2 first downs, and this one he's out to about the 33. We've seen the Colts go no huddle a couple of times here today, and you would think that that would be more advantageous for a home team to do than a team on the road.
That's what I would think, and that's what I've always kind of thought, because my coaches always says, well, when we go on the road, we can't do the no huddle because of crowd noise. Last night, Peyton Manning says, we like doing it on the road because when I call out my audibles, the defense can't hear it because of the crowd noise. So I can repeat audibles before they catch on. So interesting, and it makes sense.
Manning, quick pop over the middle. Stokely across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. He picked up 5, and it'll be 3rd and 3.
Jason Taylor relies on speed as an outside pass rusher. Tarek Glenn, he's a veteran. He's much bigger, as you can see. So if he can get his hands on the Jason Taylor, he's going to win the battle.
Crowd comes alive. 3rd and 3 for the Colts. Manning complete across the 40 to the 43, and that's Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison making his 2nd catch today. You look and you see Brock Marion cover him, you think, come on, how can they put a safety on the best wide receiver in the National Football League? Nope, because there's 2 of them covering him. But it happened so fast, good read and good throw by Manning, that 2 defenders can't stop him.
Harrison, 2 catches for 15 yards. First down, Edgerrin James again. James spins across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. We see Manning going through all of these movements at the offensive line, and some of them are real, some of them are just games. But Peyton says it's not necessarily about finding the perfect play, it's about avoiding the bad plays.
Greg, well said. That's exactly what it is. Making sure that he's not going to throw a pass where we can't block a certain defense. Let's don't run an outside run to the left where there's going to be an unblocked defensive player. That's all it's about. Just trying to be better and more efficient on offense when you do it that way.
Play fake to James. Across the middle. Stokely. Stokely to the 40. Inside the 35. Still on his feet. And now finally corralled at the sideline. Zach Thomas and Sammy Knight finally putting the stops on Stokely, who is very quick.
Well, that's right. He is great. Couple things. I know the defense had to be faked out because I was watching for the run. And then finally, I realized Peyton Manning did not have the football. Watch the fake to Edgerrin James. Stokely coming across. Nobody covering him. The defense gets confused because they thought it was a run. That's why Brandon Stokely was wide open.
Coming up on 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Manning still has it. Flip over the middle. It's batted, incomplete.
You know, and I keep watching this Miami defense. They are excellent when it comes to covering good wide receivers. Let's see what happens to the pass. Peyton Manning hits the back. Oh no, it was knocked down by a Miami defensive player. Dario Romero knocked it down.
Meanwhile, there's that battle going on between Glenn and Jason Taylor. 2nd and 10. Quick pass, James. And James to the 30. It'll be 3rd and 6 after the gain of 4. The Miami defense, well, you knew coming in that it was good with all of those Pro Bowl players on the team. And take a look at their numbers over the last 5 games. Just over 11 points a game, 16 sacks, 17 takeaways. 3rd and 6. And that is complete to the 24-yard line. Marvin Harrison made the stop, and he is right at the first down marker.
Watch Marvin Harrison on the outside. He comes in motion. Why they do that, it makes it harder. Terrell Buckley on the coverage. They want to move him, change positions, because when you do that, it gives him a little more freedom when it means going down the field. That's why he was wide open.
No sooner we talk about Tarek Glenn back from injury than he is down on the field and appears to be in pain. Take a look.
Can't tell where it happened.
Hand to hand with Jason Taylor, and Glenn is still on the deck. 3:38 to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. We're with you. And by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make.
A reminder, you can see your favorite stars brought together for the greatest live TV reunion of all time. Don't miss the surprises and unforgettable moments in this once-in-a-lifetime special. CBS at 75, live tonight after 60 minutes. Tarek Glenn walked off the field. He's on the sideline. The 11th play of a drive that began at the 10-yard line. Manning throws to James out of the backfield, and he dropped it.
Everything was set up for this play to really work. The Dolphins are being aggressive on defense. The play action fake, nobody even sees Edgerrin James sneak out of the backfield and catch the football. Or I should say, try to catch the football.
I don't think you can say it was a bad pass.
No, it was right on target.
2nd and 10.
That'll make the defense retreat and play a little more conservatively.
Manning, quick pass over the middle, and Zach Thomas is right there on James.
Well, just good reaction. When you got a fast team with good athletes who are pretty smart, it's kind of hard sometimes to get away with running these different plays, screens, and that. Zach Thomas saw it right away, made the tackle.
Loss of 2 on the play, 3rd and 12.
Can somebody besides Marvin Harrison get open down the field for the Indianapolis Colts?
And Peyton Manning calls timeout with 2.5 minutes to play. 7-3 Dolphins. Peyton Manning on his way back from a sideline chat with Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator. Interesting, Tom Moore telling us that he coached Tony Dungy.
Oh, yeah.
Back in Minnesota, and he says Tony was Peyton Manning back in 1973.
He was Peyton Manning before Peyton Manning. Tony Dungy was in college at the University of Minnesota. He used to be sitting outside of Tom Moore's office in the mornings waiting for Tom Moore to come in because he wanted to watch a little film. No wonder he's a head coach in the National Football League.
3rd and 12. Manning hit as he got rid of the ball. It is incomplete. That is an incomplete pass. Jason Taylor again beat Tarek Glenn on the far side.
Well, Tarek Glenn's out of the game because he's a little beat up. He comes back in, and Jason Taylor takes advantage of that fact. Faked like he was going inside, Jason Taylor did, just enough to freeze the defender and then got around him really easily.
Mike Vanderjagt hit a 50-yard field goal earlier. This one will be from 44. On its way. And it is good. Vanderjagt yet again. He is a perfect 20 for 20 in field goals this season. And he pulls the Colts to within 1 at 7-6. There's Tony Dungy, the man who has made all the difference in the world since getting to Indianapolis last season. Talked with Marvin Harrison, the fine wide receiver of the Colts, and asked him what kind of a difference Tony Dungy has made in Indy.
Halfway through last season, you know, we sort of understood what he was trying to, his point he was trying to get across. He's not going to yell at you. He's going to coach you, you know, and talk to you like a man. All you do is go out there and work. When you got a guy like him, he makes you work harder. He makes you want to go out and win. So I think we had a year under our belt so far with him. I think this year is just showing how much we've matured and how much we want to follow his plan. I think that's why we are where we are today.
That might be the biggest battle of all, Greg. When you want to work hard for your coach, that's like pleasing your dad. That's really, that says a lot, says everything about a head coach.
Well said by Marvin Harrison, and everything that he talks about has come to fruition on the field, especially the last part of last year and the first part of this year.
I think the other thing is, too, when I watched this team, I thought I was going to see all the improvements on defense, but Tony Dungy has really tightened up the offense, made them more precise, not looking for the big plays. This Indianapolis Colts offense, very patient.
This kick is short. It comes down to the 21-yard line. This is Simmons. And Simmons across the 30 and across the 35. 2:13 to play, and back onto the field comes Brian Griese. Griese versus Manning today. A look at the numbers and a 1-point difference on the scoreboard.
Numbers lie. They're both playing pretty good. Manning's the game. Brian Griese, not many chances to make plays. He did fumble, but you know, he got hit when he wasn't expecting it to from the back, but that's all you can ask to do, and it's kind of like a new role for Brian Griese being a quarterback down here in Miami. The term managing the game comes up a lot more than it did in Denver.
Griese drops, throws, complete to Conrad out of the backfield, out to the 39, close to the 40-yard line, and that'll bring us up to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here at Pro Player Stadium. 1-point game. The Dolphins have the edge. Two minutes to play in the first half, and it is a part of the game that the Dolphins have owned thus far this season.
That's a pretty impressive stat. Good defense, run the football. It just says a lot of good things about your football team.
Griese to throw, near sideline. just a little bit behind Chris Chambers, the intended receiver. The rain has begun to fall here.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
Pro Player Stadium.
This football is off target. One, Brian Griese's under pressure, but Greg, the wind has definitely picked up on the football field. You got wind, rain, and pressure. You can almost see the football moving as he throws it down the sideline.
Griese has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver so far today. On third down, Griese going deep down the sideline and nobody there.
They were taking a chance. That time they wanted to fake it down the middle, go long. The Colts defense does not bite. Brian Griese, again, doing a good thing. Throw it away. Field position is in your favor.
It has been windy ever since we arrived in town, and now the rain is joining the wind. Turk. Troy Walters. And Walters returns to the 20-yard line. With 1:35 to play, that's where Manning will go to work. And coming up, the Nextel halftime report. Jim, Dan, Dion, Boomer have today's scores and highlights, all coming up on the Nextel halftime report.
Yeah, Dan Marino's up in the studio going, yeah, so what? It's windy and rainy down there. I still threw for 60,000 yards. I think that's a misprint.
And that was on a good day.
Yeah. Yeah, this wind's been playing havoc with my hair, Greg. It's been real rough.
Manning has 2 timeouts remaining and 1:35 to play. Dominic Rhodes is in the backfield now behind Manning. Manning fakes to him, throws out to the far side, and that's complete to Marcus Pollard, the tight end. Pollard still on his feet down the sideline and across the 35 and out of bounds at about the 37 or 38-yard line.
Boy, how's that for a weapon? You got Reggie Wayne, you got Marvin Harrison, you got Adrian James down the field running the football. Nothing there. Marcus Pollard on the screen outside. Some good blocking after he catches it, and excellent running by Pollard.
Manning in and out of the hands of Harrison and caught by Pollard. Pollard to the 30, the 20, and dragged down inside the 15-yard line. Patrick Surtain saved the touchdown.
This is a play the Indianapolis Colts run against the Miami Dolphins about 10 times a game. There goes Marvin Harrison. Marcus Pollard going down the field. The defense reacts to the throw, which is what they should do. And Marcus Pollard gets the deflection right to him.
And Manning now calls a timeout. No, I'm sorry. The timeout has been called by the Dolphins.
Watch it again. They have run this play so many times against this Dolphin defense. You could see the Dolphins went, oh, we recognize that one. They all run to the football, and the Colts very fortunate.
Is that what Tom Moore meant when he said sometimes we like to add a little wrinkle to our offense?
Yeah, that's right, yes. I'll tell you one thing, Marcus Pollard, you could see him with about 15 yards to go before he was tackled, was about ready to give up. Somebody please tackle me. There's Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays for Peyton Manning. We talked to him last night. Of course, I have to ask him because, you know, Tom's getting up there in age. And I said, Tom, have you thought about retiring? It's not going to happen. Never am I going to retire. I am going to coach forever.
What else is he going to do?
He goes, I love it. Why would I want to quit?
Once again, Dominic Rhodes in the backfield. Manning throwing for the corner of the end zone. Has a man. Touchdown. Marcus Pollard.
Same play. They changed the route.
We have a marker down in the backfield.
Did you see the wind hit that football?
Holding. Number 71. Offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
The penalty is on Ryan Dean, the right tackle.
Oh, boy. Tough call. Did get his hands outside the shoulder. Look at that football. The wind hit it. It came straight down, but he was wide open.
41 seconds on the clock. Manning goes down. Wale Ogunleye, the 8th sack of the season for 93.
Well, we talk so much about Jason Taylor. Everybody forgets about Wale Ogunleye. The Indianapolis Colts, they didn't forget about him. They talked about him last night. How well, how good he is doing. Yeah, get a little excited. What did he say? He says, getting a quarterback sack. Well, I kind of said it. It must be like throwing a touchdown pass. He goes, yeah, he goes, you wait, you set the offensive players up a whole game and you get 1 or 2 chances, and when you make it, it's an exciting event for a defensive lineman.
Finally got his turn to play last year. There was a pecking order here. He came in, he was behind Trace Armstrong, then a Lorenzo Bromell, and then Kenny Mixon. And those were some pretty decent D linemen.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. 3 good defensive linemen. They're all gone, and one of the reasons they're gone is because of him. They said, well, we can let him go because we got a guy backing him up that's pretty good, and he's better than pretty good.
34 seconds to play. 2nd and 24. Dominique Rhodes, right side to the 23.
Well, now you got to just protect your field goal. Get it as close as you can. Think in those terms. But I want to go back to that touchdown real quick that he threw to Marcus Pollard. It was the same play that they caught the deflection off of. They do it so much. Pollard went outside, and the Dolphins defense completely confused when he changed his route.
3rd and 21. Over the middle. Complete to Joe Dean Davenport, tight end. He goes down. They call timeout to stop the clock with 1 second to play. And a penalty marker flies. Talk about clock management.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. And you know what? I wonder if they got in a huddle and talked about it. If you catch it, get down. Don't try to make defenders miss.
And a personal foul call against Miami.
Well, all this does is just makes the field goal attempt, of course, a lot easier. Just what Vanderjagt needs, an easier field goal.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 29, Miami, with an elbow to the head. Half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st and goal at the 7.5-yard line. Indianapolis is charged with their 3rd timeout.
Penalty is on Sam Madison. And that was the call made on Madison.
Well, I think Sam was trying to induce a little pain, but it's not really a good effort. He kind of pushes, then he uses his hand getting up, and you know, people, I love it. All they don't let the players express themselves, all that I hear that, it's just so ludicrous. You've got to keep a tight rein on it. Did you happen to watch the football game last night with Miami and Virginia Tech? Every play, it gets out of hand. So there's got to be strict rules, a strict code of conduct, and you can't vary from it, because if you do, well, where does it stop?
Mike Vanderjagt has 2 out of 2 in field goals today. This will be about a 25-yarder. He's made 20 out of 20 this season, and he's made 24 straight dating back to last season.
Well, you are putting a super hex on him.
This will be a 25-yarder. Chip shot in Vanderjagt terms. It's good. So they come to the end of the first half, and the Miami Dolphins, who had led at halftime every game this season, see that go by the boards with the Vanderjagt field goal, his third of the day, and the Colts lead at 9-7. We go down to Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Dave, inspired effort by the defense, playing so well, but what do you do with the offense, especially the way this weather's going?
Well, we can't let the weather be a factor, even though it is a little windy and stuff. It really hasn't been a difference in what we're trying to do. I mean, we just haven't executed. I mean, they're putting a lot of pressure on us up front. We got to be able to block them and make a few better decisions. I mean, we're just not executing the way we need to move the football consistently down the field. That's what's been lacking.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Greg.
Armin, thanks. That is the end of the first half here at Pro Player Stadium with our score. The Colts 9, the Dolphins 7. We're back with the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel halftime report. Sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
All right, come on here, friends, into the Nextel halftime report from our NFL Today studios. What a low-scoring day. We've had only one game so far with more than a touchdown. Dan, Dion, and Boomer are here, and again, defense in order. We've been watching this Indianapolis-Miami first half. What do you make of it, Dan?
Well, when you're looking at this game, really, it's Brian Greasy's not getting a lot done in the first half. You see him get thrown for a loss here. Chad Braxey actually put out on the 1-yard line. But this is what they're looking for. A big play, 46-yarder to Randy McMichael down the sideline. But that was the only really big play in the first half for them, with only 88 total yards in the first half. Then they give the ball to Ricky Williams. He runs over safety. They go up 7-0. And then look at Dwight Freeney come around the corner. Greasy doesn't see him, loses the ball. Brad Scioli picks it up. and really not a whole lot going on in this game. But Indianapolis is controlling the line of scrimmage so far.
Vanderjagt with those 3 field goals after they were down 7-0. There's Ricky, 11 for 32, but the touch. 9-7 lead for the Colts. Now, the only game with more than a single touchdown in the game for both sides is this one. Giants and the Jets. Giants get the touchdown pass to Amani Toomer. What about the Jets and Pennington today, Boomer?
3 turnovers by the Jets, 2 by Chad Pennington, an interception, a fumble. And usually the Giants are the ones that are turning the ball over. But today, 3 turnovers for the Jets. That's why the Giants have 13 points.
Tuiasosopo, he was injured early in this game after a shaky start, Dion.
Play action pass right here, trying to stick it in there, making a young guy mistake. Picked off by Otis Smith. Right here, come on, Jerry Rice, old veteran, just trying to extend for extra yardage. Stripped. Doug Evans calls it a fumble. Barrett Green returns it for 34 yards. Second turnover of the day, and Hanson adds a field goal. Little play action, little razzle-dazzle. Landis Gary takes it in. The guy's up under extreme pressure. He's out of the game. Rick Meyer is back in the game right now. He's doing a pretty good job coming off the bench, 8 for 14. But Tuiasosopo right here, I mean, this guy coming off the bench, getting in there in the fourth quarter, did a great job. But look at this pressure. Who's blocking?
Hey, guys, the main thing here is that Coach Callahan, as they came out of the locker room to start the second half, reports there on site to our Marcus Allen that he believes Tuiasosopo may have a torn MCL. Rick Meyer in at quarterback for Oakland as they trail 10-3. Here's the Chargers and the Bears. It was all Bears in that first half.
And how about Chris Chandler? He is just engaged down the sideline. Bear fans have got to wonder how come Chandler wasn't playing earlier in the season. And Paul Edinger now takes it the Bears 3-0. And then it was Anthony Thomas who kind of took over the second quarter of this game as he runs right here through the middle of the San Diego defense. And remember, San Diego had to leave San Diego early because of those wildfires and practice down in Champaign, Illinois. It looks like the effects of that particular trip are taking hold here as Anthony Thomas goes in again for a 1-yard touchdown. 10-0 by the Bears. Chandler playing pretty good.
And there it is, Thomas with a strong first half, outshining Tomlinson. Meanwhile, Todd Heap, remember last week, had the touchdown taken away and another catch after instant replay. Not right out of the box today.
He would not have this one taken away. Remember this connection. Bowler to Heap. These guys are making music in Baltimore. Byron Leftwich, right, 9 for 11. But you know what? This will not be one of them. Having a good day, protecting the ball. Fuamatapala. That's his name, Jim. 15 yards right here. I think that's his name.
That's close. Close enough.
Close right here. Bowler trying to stick it in, making a rookie mistake. Intercepted by Mike Peterson. But you know, Jacksonville has dominated the time of possession, but the Ravens have the lead, 10-3.
By the way, Jamal Lewis, the first to cross 1,000 on the season, did it today, although today contained 11 for 32, 7-point lead for the Ravens. Here's Carolina. They shut down that Texans offense quarterbacked by Tony Banks today. They had only a couple of first downs in that first half, but now second half has started. He's over 100, and then Dominic Davis just peeled off a big rush there. The rookie now up to 55 yards on the ground. And the Saints lead 7-0 on a Brooks touchdown. They started the second half at Tampa with an onside kick in Carney, and the Saints recovered it. So they lead it 7-0, and Bucks lost to them twice last year, trailing again today. NFL on CBS continues in just a moment.
I was going to pick New Orleans.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel Nationwide Walkie-Talkie.
The NFL today.
Dion wants to be the next coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
What?
You announced it.
What? As far as instant replay is concerned, you have to have it. I know some people are against it. They want to get it out of there, including Brian Billick. But
Red McCombs is no Tony Robbins as the motivational speaker. As a matter of fact, I'd rather listen to Barrett Robbins. Dante gets up the scene.
The NFL today. The pregame show you can't afford to miss.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel Nationwide Walkie-Talkie.
At halftime, our score, the Colts 9 and the Miami Dolphins 7. For Indianapolis, it's been all Mike Vanderjagt with 3 field goals. Tony Dungy's team has come from behind to finally lead at the break, 9-7 Indianapolis. And we're back after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium, everyone. At the break, the Colts are leading Miami 9-7 along with Phil Simms. I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's go back to the top of the day and the keys that you so eloquently outlined for the game. Have they stood up?
You sure that was me? Was I said
sure.
that? But the keys, Greg, when you go in at halftime, you have to go, well, we're doing what we really set out to do. The Miami defense has stopped the long passes by the Colts offense, and the Colts defense, they wanted to make sure that Ricky Williams wasn't the
And got revenge now on a Survivor First. The Tribal Council at the top of the show gives Outcasts a second chance to get back in the game. Plus, an underwater challenge that will leave you breathless. An all-new Survivor, Thursday at 8/7 Central on CBS. Greasy to throw on first down. Out here, Conrad on the move across the 40 to about the 43-yard line.
The Dolphins are hot throwing the football. I expect them to come out and keep throwing it. Once you get in rhythm, you get the defense guessing, don't back off. A quick pass by the Dolphin offense, that allows Wade Smith to go low and knock Dwight Freeney down to the ground.
Here's Ricky Williams. Williams couldn't avoid Nick Harper coming up to make the stop. He does have enough for a first down. Jim Nance in New York.
All right, Greg and Phil, here's the update from Detroit now. The Raiders get back into it right here. It's Charlie Garner from 7 yards out. Again, Rick Meyer at quarterback as Tuiasa Sopo's out with what looks like a torn MCL left knee. Let's go back to you.
Rick Meyer, a veteran name, been around a long time in the National Football League.
Yep, been to a lot of teams. That's a shame. That's disheartening. Tuiasa Sopo getting a chance and gets hurt.
Greasy, play fake, rolling, throw, that's complete, and Randy McMichael gets hit on the far side by Walt Harris coming up. Pick up a couple of yards, or maybe one. We'll call it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that's right. Walt Harris has a free shot. Randy McMichael doesn't even see him coming, but that size difference, it kind of worked out for Randy McMichael this time. Greasy, excellent job. Was going to throw it down the field. Good adjustment by the Colt defense. Makes him go short. McMichael really becoming a part of this offense today. If you make catches and you get it going in the game, they'll design some plays for you this week. You'll look good in practice, and all of a sudden you're going to be part of the passing game every week.
Greasy to throw again. And down he goes. That was Dwight Freeney applying the pressure. The third Colts sack of the day.
I'm sorry, Greg. The first-round draft pick from Syracuse 2 years ago. He's been using speed all day long. So when he comes inside against Wade Smith, that is so hard. And we talked to Dwight Freeney last night, and I said, are you learning a lot? And he goes, oh, am I learning a lot? And I said, don't you wish you'd have known that in college? He goes, I went back to watch Syracuse practice, and I was watching what they were doing. He goes, I'd be killing guys if I was out there now. So you do learn a lot when you come to the pros, and he's taking advantage of that knowledge with good talent.
Again, pressure on Greasy. This one to Ricky Williams, and Williams on the move to midfield and into Indianapolis territory before Bashir drags him down.
Good call. You always hear the term at home, managing the game. That's what it is. It's 3rd and long. Try to pick up some yards, a safe play. When you punt it, you back up the other team's offense.
That is Idris Bashir being helped to the sideline. He's the one who made the hit. It is a 4th down, however, and that's Troy Walters inside his own 10-yard line. Sure. Bounces it inside the 5-yard line, takes a lateral bounce, comes back out to about the 8 or the 9. Matt Turk will like that one. His coaches will like it even better. 2:58 to play in the 3rd. 2-point game. Hey, Monday, Dave's all new with actress Ashley Judd, plus Austin and Sean, the 2 Survivor castaways. And later this week, don't miss Florida Marlins manager Jack McKeon, judging Amy star Amy Brenneman and Will Ferrell. Dave's all new all this week on CBS. Big swing in field position. Manning starts from his own 8. Stretch play, Edgerrin James gets across the 10, out to about the 11-yard line.
You know, I really like it when you talk football. The stretch play. You know, after 6 years, you're finally picking up a few terms.
How about this one? What? 2nd and 8.
We will now join the
crowd getting into the defense chant now for the Dolphins. Manning, quick pass. This is Wayne, and Wayne out across the 20 and enough for a 1st down.
Well, that is really some good execution by the Colts. The offensive line they're active. It's not an overly big offensive line, but they can move around, and he throws it outside. It looks like nothing is going to happen. But Tyreek Glenn, 78. Rick DeMulling, 64. Everybody gets out there and just creates a lot of confusion. Allows the receiver to get down the field and get a 1st down.
Colts have doubled up on 1st downs now on Miami. Quick pass to this side, Marvin Harrison. And Harrison is wrapped up by Patrick Surtain. After about a 2-yard gain, make it 4-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and 6.
Illegal receiver down the field against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, offensive linemen are allowed to be 1 yard down the field when there is a screen play thrown. That's when the quarterback throws it.
Illegally downfield, number 63, offensive lineman. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Tony Dungy may say, I don't have a lineman fast enough to get downfield that quickly.
Well, yeah, that's right. 63, Jeff Saturday. He leads almost all the screens, but they're allowed to be 1 yard down the field as the quarterback is throwing it. When the ball travels in the air, that could be another yard or 2. So offensive linemen, there's a little gray area there where they can take advantage of it.
1st and 15. Edgerrin James. And James wrapped up. Penalty marker is down. Zach Thomas might have had him around the face mask.
They did. The screen play has worked today. That exact screen. 3rd time they have run it.
Ruin it?
Something.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 54. Defense. It's a 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. 1st down.
Well, all right. 1st down. Tough situations. The Colts, they love to repeat plays. Zach Thomas just trying to make the play. It's so tough for defenders. These talented guys are trying to bring him down. Sometimes you're going to grab him by the face mask.
On first down, Harrison. And Harrison is back down this time by Junior Seau.
You know, wasn't it amazing when we watched the films, Greg, and we studied the Indianapolis Colts and the Dolphins? They told us this, and you watch them, you think, well, they're going to have all this stuff in, but they really don't run like a high number of plays like a lot of teams do in the National Football League. Tom Moore, if it works, he'll call it the next play to the other side, and then, 5 minutes later, he'll run it again, and he'll make you stop a single play before he moves on to his next choice.
Final seconds of the third quarter. James, left side, running room, first down, and out of bounds inside or just outside the 45-yard line.
That defense is starting to creep up, Greg. Just kind of let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We have come to the end of the third quarter. Our score, the Colts 16, the Dolphins 14, and we'll come back to Pro Player Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back to start the fourth quarter here at Pro Player Stadium. Indianapolis with the ball in a 2-point lead. First down at their own 46. Give is to Harrison, right side. Make it Troy Walters, across midfield and into Miami territory. But Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning have been busy today, as they usually are. The pass there, and the short passes, and the flea flicker.
A flea flicker that he was not even involved in, but had the wherewithal to see it, to adjust, and make a tremendous catch.
2nd and 4. James, left side. That'll be enough for a first down inside the 40 to the 39. Going back to Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. I thought it was phenomenal when Peyton Manning says, as strange as it sounds, Marvin practices better than he plays.
Oh, I know. Well, everybody, Tony Dungy says he's a tireless worker, couldn't get over what he witnesses when he came to the Indianapolis Colts, but talk about Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. So many adjustments into the game. They have such recall of what they've done in the past. Peyton will go to Marvin, run this route like you did in 1998 against so-and-so. And Marvin goes, oh, I got you, okay. And they put it in.
Quick pass over the middle, and that's complete. Inside the 30, inside the 25, and Troy Walters to the 20-yard line.
That makes the 8th different receiver that Peyton Manning has thrown the football to today. It used to be so heavy. Marvin Harrison, here it comes. Peyton, throw it to Marvin. Jumping up, using his size, throwing it over the middle, being smart and safe. But now they have a very good complement of skilled players, tight ends, extra wide receivers, and Peyton Manning is using them all.
First down at the Miami 20.
Let's see if this is a run.
And we get a penalty marker on the far side. It is an offside penalty against the Dolphins.
Offside, number 55, defense, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
This is a big penalty. I'll tell you why. Once you get inside the 20-yard line, it is so hard to score sometimes, especially when you're talking about going against this Miami Dolphins defense. They're excellent in the red zone. So now you have 1st and 5. Peyton Manning says this is where you want to take the shots in the end zone. Don't try to get a first down, try to score.
On 1st and 5, a little pump fake, and down goes Manning. Four sacks on Manning all season long. He is sacked 4 times here today.
Well, they were doing just what we said, Greg. Peyton Manning is going to do a pump go, try to pump it down the left side and throw it down the middle. But Wally Ogunleye, again, overpowers this guy, gets in the backfield, and one-handed takes down Peyton Manning.
Ogunleye second today, 9 on the season, 2nd and 10. Manning to give and on the run inside the 15, twisting to the 10 is Rhodes.
How about that? How's Dominic Rhodes look to be as a backup? He's got a little quicks, little size, power. It's hard to tell the difference between him and Edgerrin James.
We're going to get a measurement here, because this ball is right at the first down marker.
You know, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's worth saying. You look at this Colts offense, it is patient. It's about ball control. If you're going to play safe, then they'll just methodically drive the football down the field on you.
And you alluded to it earlier. Tony Dungy said he liked what he saw when he got to Indianapolis, but he wanted to make it more efficient.
Yeah, he thought they took way too many chances because the mindset was, we better score because we know our defense is going to give up a lot of points. And you just can't force it in this league. Defenses are too good. The players, the schemes. You know, if they say you're not going to get a deep pass, and I'm going to tell you what, we'll stop those deep passes.
1st and goal at the 10-yard line for Indianapolis. Edgerrin James on the sideline. Dominique Rhodes in the backfield behind Manning. Rhodes to about the 8. Scanina along with Zach Thomas after a pickup of 2, 2nd and goal.
Big drive here, big for this Dolphins defense. Again, Peyton Manning said he thinks they are tremendous down in this area of the field. Good players, only have to defend a short portion of the field. Takes good players and makes them really good players.
Playing clock to 3, to 2, to 1, and on the snap, the give is to Rhodes. Rhodes dances inside the 5 to about the 3.
This offensive line, they've hung in there. It's been rough today for them against this pass rush and the talent of the Miami Dolphins defense, but they keep coming after you, and now they're actually starting to get some runs that look really good.
Zach Thomas, 16 tackles today. 3rd and goal. Play fake over the middle, touchdown. Troy Walters, his first touchdown catch of the season.
That works for a lot of reasons. You're running the football, but the action by the offensive lineman and Peyton Manning freezes the defense just for a second, and that's all you need when you're this close. Troy Walters does it against Brock Marion. He fooled him. He acted like it was a run, then took off. It was too late for Brock Marion to react to it.
For Troy Walters, the 4th-year receiver out of Stanford, it's his first career touchdown catch. Vanderjagt's extra point attempt is good. 9 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. And Indianapolis has extended the lead to 23-14. Take note of that last line on that graphic. 4 times today, the Colts have had drives of 65 or more yards. It resulted in 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Well, the change in this Colts team, win or lose today, it doesn't matter. I can see it defensively. I can see they're better athletically, they're faster, and you can see it on offense too that they're willing just to let you pick your own poison. You want to go slow? We'll slowly drive it down the field on you.
4 24-yard line. This will be Travis Minor. Minor to the 20. And out to about the 22 or 23-yard line. Donald Strickland with the stop. Brian Griese onto the field. Work to be done on offense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Expedia.com. Don't just travel. Travel right. And by the all-new Ford Freestar. Pure genius. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Glimpses of the very popular South Beach area here in South Florida as the Dolphins go back on offense at the 23-yard line. Griese throws it out here. That's complete. Knocked out of bounds as Chris Chambers. Go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, let's go back and look at it. Troy Walters in the slot. Here's Brock Marion. He's going to make a little fake and then go to the back of the end zone. Brock Marion, which most defenders do. They defend. He gets faked by the run just enough, lets Walters get behind him. But the back of the end zone, that is a spot where the defense loses sight of. They focus so much on the goal line that you get behind them a lot in that 10-yard area.
Griese under the gun, got rid of it. And a penalty marker's thrown. That was Dwight Freeney again, all over Griese.
There's no doubt in my mind that was intentional grounding. If there was a receiver who happened to be nearby, it was just luck. The Dolphins are saying Randy McMichael was right there, but
Randy McMichael is saying, I was right there.
Yeah, he walked into the picture after the pass hit the ground. Dwight Freeney on the outside. Okay. Now
Randy McMichael with his hands out and watches the ball fly by.
That answered it, didn't it?
Intentional grounding. Number 14. It's a 10-yard penalty plus loss of down. Number 81 was adjacent to the vicinity, but seeing as how this is not a screen pass, he cannot throw the ball directly into the ground, therefore it's intentional grounding.
Well, I know the crowd doesn't agree with it, and the explanation is pretty good, but look. Here's McMichael on the right side. That's what they're talking about. Brian Griese, he's right in front of him, but of course he's not going to see him. He's just, you panic, want to think about getting rid of the football, you throw it into the ground. Good call by the official.
2nd and 20. Griese over the middle. There's McMichael, and that's across the 35 to the 37-yard line. If you want an idea of how well this Indianapolis offense has been working today, the Dolphins lost their opener to Houston 21-20. That's the last time anybody scored more than 20 points against the Dolphins until today.
You have a good defense, you run the football, and you manage the game like the Dolphins. It's hard to put up a lot of points on them. Just not going to be many opportunities. You have to have an outstanding effort, which the Colts have had.
Griese with time over the middle, and it's almost intercepted at midfield by Nick Harper. Did you see Dwight Freeney on that rush?
Shoot, I usually watch the quarterbacks. I'm now watching him because he is something else. Double team, McMichael spinning, a double spin, and still almost gets to the quarterback. And I know Brian Griese felt him because he threw it just a little bit before he wanted to.
Troy Walters, fresh from a touchdown catch, is deep at his own 18-yard line. Matt Turk. Another fine punt by Turk.
What a day of punting.
Walters avoids a tackler at the 13, straight up the middle, 30. And tracked down at about the 38 or 39-yard line. Travis Minor made a saving tackle. 50-yard punt, 26-yard return, and we take a break. A look at the standings in the AFC South. Tennessee with a bye week, and the Colts with a chance to make it a one-game lead on the Titans in the AFC South. In the East, New England playing tomorrow night. Miami looking to pull even temporarily at 6-2. 8:05 to play in the fourth. Manning with the handoff. And Edgerrin James to about the 42. And Wednesday on CBS, don't miss superstars Shania Twain, Jimmy Buffett, Alan Jackson, and all your favorites on the Country Music Association Awards, live Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
I saw Tony Dungy have a little talk with Peyton Manning as they came out on the field, and I know what that talk was about. We're 9 points up, 2 possessions. Take the play clock down.
2nd and 8. Pass over the middle, and that's complete to Walters, and Walters still on his feet looking for the first down and got it. Let's go down to Armin. Armin.
Greg, you know how much we love talking to Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator of the Colts, and he was talking about Peyton last night. He had a great phrase. He goes, the sky's the limit for this guy. He said, one, it's impossible to find someone who works any harder than Peyton does. The second thing was he's got the greatest recall, Phil, as you were talking about with coaches and plays from as much as 5 or 6 years ago. And I thought the best thing was he said he works on what he doesn't do well. He's not afraid to fail early on. He said that's the only way to get better. Greg?
I think we all realize Tom Moore has a million great phrases. Manning going deep. Reggie Wayne and overthrew it.
Had it. I talked about this defense. Of course, now it's getting late in the game. They have to come up. They've got to be more aggressive. And when you get more aggressive, now you're going to give wide receivers a chance to go one-on-one. Look at the defense, how they've come up. Peyton Manning has to rush it just a little bit. He felt the pressure. Otherwise, it's a touchdown.
Incomplete to Wayne. It's now 2nd and 10. The ball at midfield. Manning gets the snap off in time, and Edgerrin James straight ahead to about the 46.
So you know, Greg, just talking to the players and coaches last night, the Indianapolis Colts, boy, Peyton Manning's in a real hurry. Trying to catch him, he's going to get extra guys on the field. He did it.
Penalty marker flies from the near side.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Peyton Manning waved his players off the field and said, leave us alone. He called the play real quick, caught the Dolphins switching.
Dario Romero was still on the field on the near side.
Look at the switches coming
on
and off.
Play. Timeout was called by Miami prior to the snap. That's their first charge timeout. The player who called the timeout was number 95.
So Tim Bowens took a look, decided that we weren't going to make this change in time, called timeout.
Could be the difference in the game. Very smart timeout by Tim Bowens.
So 6:16 to play here in the fourth quarter. Indianapolis with a 23-14 lead and the football, and as time begins to wind down, this turns into a very big possession for both sides.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you, I just said Tim Bowens made a really, really good time out there. Our first down here, 6:16. If they get a first down, it's going to take at least 2 minutes more, 3 minutes off. You need the ball twice if you're Miami to get a chance to win the game.
Meanwhile, Edgerrin James has now passed Marshall Faulk and is now 2nd in Colt history in career rushing yards.
I always thought, too, when you get in a situation like this, the defense is a little anxious. They want to get to the quarterback. They got to make a play. This is one of the best times in a game to draw them off sides. Always take advantage of a defensive lineman who is wanting to get to the quarterback.
So there's still a presentation going on near the end zone, and that's why Tom White called a halt to Peyton Manning's advance to the line of scrimmage. Is there another quarterback in the league that goes through nearly as much at the line than Peyton Manning does?
No. Nobody has the responsibility. And and I got to tell you, I'm not second guessing, because I was one of those going, maybe they're doing it too much when things weren't going well. That was my first inclination. But boy, Greg, do it all you want, because now I understand more and more as time goes on that it all works out for him in doing all this stuff.
3rd and 6. Manning still has it over the middle. That's complete. Loose ball picked off by the Dolphins. Dolphins with the ball. That's Terrell Buckley. Peyton Manning wants the ball, the runner, to be called down by contact.
I don't know if he was or not. It was such a good, solid hit against Marvin Harrison. The football is ripped out before he hits the ground.
Number 20, Arturo Freeman. You can see it right there, come out just before Harrison hit the ground. And so it's first down Miami, their own 45-yard line, and that's a big turnover. First Colt turnover of the day. Greasy to throw. Over the middle, McMichael having a great day to the 46.
Well, the goal here, of course, Brian Greasy knows it. Just get in scoring territory. At least give yourself a chance to kick a field goal now on this drive.
Greasy, Conrad, and Conrad inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Greasy now looking much more efficient than he did in the first half.
Well, I thought he looked pretty good in the first half, too. Not to disagree with you because he was under pressure. But quarterbacks, the more throws you get, the more in rhythm, the more comfortable you get, the better decisions you make too down the field.
The ball's coming out of there in a hurry, and you know it seems Dwight Freeney is there on every pass rush. Greasy throwing up the seam. He's got his man inside the 20-yard line. Donald Lee, first down Miami. We welcome those of you who watch the Chicago Bears beat San Diego here in Miami. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan. Indianapolis with the lead, but a fumble has just given Miami new life. And Brian Greasy with that pass to Donald Lee has the Dolphins inside the Colt 20-yard line. Greasy to throw again. To the corner. That's complete and out of bounds to Chris Chambers at the 5.
I know if you're sitting at home, you're going, oh, come on. They're playing that prevent defense. They're not. Sorry, did I knock your ear out? I yelled so loud, Greg. But a nice move by Chris Chambers. The Colts are playing the defense they've been playing, but now the protection is better. The throwing and catching is excellent by the Dolphins.
You know who's gotten into a groove, too, is Norv Turner calling the plays upstairs.
Well, his decision-making, it has to change. They got to be more aggressive and throw the football because the fact they're down 2 scores.
Greasy under pressure and dives forward. That will go down as a sack on a loss of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal.
I think they were trying to run a screen to Ricky Williams inside. The pressure was so quick that Brian Greasy could not get rid of the football.
The numbers on the game so far. Turnovers are even. Greasy, straight drop, throws to the end zone, incomplete. James McKnight, the intended receiver. Donald Strickland was there, and the fans called for a flag that wasn't thrown.
Nope, it is another good decision by Brian Greasy. Get rid of it. The pressure. Think about everything. 3rd down, field goal. You need to score. Don't take a sack.
9-point difference in the game. Dave Wannstedt wants at least 3 points out of this drive. Third and goal. Greasy throws near side. McMichael. And McMichael to the 5, still on his feet. And down at the 5-yard line. Onto the field comes Olindo Mare, who has had his problems of late. Mare has missed 3 field goals inside of 40 yards over the last 2 games. Dave Wannstedt told us had a horrible day at practice on Thursday in the wind. This will be 23 yards. Murray up and good. 3:10 to play in the fourth quarter. Miami closes to within 23-17.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's new home-style chicken strips. Another reason it's better here. And by Nextel coast-to-coast walkie-talkie. Nextel. Done.
What's the most likely stumbling block for Kansas City's unbeaten run? That's our NFL.com poll question. Cast your vote at NFL.com.
Shoot the next game. You're undefeated in this league. Everybody wants a piece of you.
Murray's kick. Troy Walters from the 6. And slides down across the 15 at the 17-yard line. This is what's happening, how we got to where we are. Ricky Williams gave Miami a 7-0 lead. 3 Vanderjagt field goals made it a 9-7 game. Edgerrin James made it 16-7 Indy. And then Greasy to Chris Chambers made it 16-14 Colts. And then Walters on the receiving end of the Manning pass, 23-14, and then the field goal by Murray moments ago has us where we are now at 23-17. The timeout situation. Colts 3, Miami has 2. James. Carr running up the middle to the 24-yard line. Marvin Harrison's fumble is a rarity indeed. Miami calls timeout to stop the clock here with 2:56 to play.
You're trying to stop the Indianapolis Colts from picking up a first down. Watch, the safety, Brock Marion, comes up. They got all these defenders. They're going to stop a run if it goes to the right. Junior Seau in the gap. Look at that. And somehow, Edgerrin James finds a little space. Good blocking by Jeff Saturday up front. Rick DeMolin again. Boy, I've said his name a lot today. Excellent job. Allows them to pick up 8 yards on first down.
Dave Wannstedt, you saw him pacing the sidelines.
You know, Greg, always the mark of a team. You need so many ways to win a football game. And one of the ways to win is to run the clock out. When they know you're going to run, everybody knows it, and you still do it, that tells you that you're on your way to being pretty good.
You know, the way this game started was no indication of how it's winding up, is it?
Well, you never thought the way it was going early that either team was ever going to get anything going on offense. Both were patient, and as it wears on, they're making plays.
2nd and 2. James. Tripped up back at the 23-yard line. Tim Bowens, number 95. And the Dolphins use their 3rd and final timeout to stop the clock with 2:50 to play. While we have a moment tonight on 60 Minutes. To you, downloading a movie off the internet may not be a crime, but to the movie companies it is. One way or another you're going to pay. Tonight on 60 Minutes. Then CBS invites you to the greatest live television reunion of all time with the stars who made TV history. CBS at 75, live tonight right here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, I'm really curious to see. I know what the Dolphins are going to do. They're going to pressure. We know that for sure. The Indianapolis Colts, I think they'll throw it. They could run it. Even if they run it, they still can't take it down to the 2-minute warning, so that won't help them as much as they hope. But they have more weapons, more guys on offense, more options for Peyton Manning to throw the football to in situations just like this.
A big 3rd and 2 for the Miami defense. Edgerrin James in the backfield with Manning. Movement on the left side. Tarek Glenn, the left tackle, jump.
Big's not a big enough word.
False start. Number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
So a 3rd and 2 now becomes a 3rd and 7.
The Dolphins are going to go into a defense, it looks like, trying to cover everybody. Only 3 rushers.
Manning looks this way. Quick pass intercepted. Terrell Buckley. We have a penalty marker down at the site of the play.
Pass interference. Offense, number 83. The penalty is declined. First down.
The call is on Brandon Stokely.
Only 3 rushers. It puts extra people in the pass defense. Terrell Buckley is a smart player and a player who is not afraid to take chances on defense. He read it, he saw the play, he took the chance, makes the interception.
Terrell Buckley's second takeaway in the last 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Greasy to Ricky Williams, right side. Dragged down inside the 15-yard line by Freeney.
What a play by Dwight Freeney. You don't want to overstate it, but it could have been a game-saving tackle. All the way from one side across the field. It stops Ricky Williams for a little gain.
2-yard gain to be exact. 2nd and 8. Clock continues to move. 2:15 to play. Bob Greasy looking on from on high. Brian Greasy play fakes under pressure, loses the football. Colts fall on it at the 22-yard line.
Unbelievable. Dwight Freeney has had an incredible day. To be an outstanding team defense in the National Football League, you need a premier pass rusher, and the Colts have him in Dwight Freeney. Double teamed, gets around them both, rips the ball away from the quarterback.
Dwight Freeney has had 3 sacks and has forced 2 fumbles today. Peyton Manning saw a game-saving play by Dwight Freeney there, minute 55 to play. Dwight Freeney told us last night that growing up he was a Giants fan. He loved to watch Lawrence Taylor coming around the corner. He said, I had the pictures, I had the jersey, I had everything. He's looking an awful lot like LT today.
Sorry, 93 up at the top. Oh boy, Ricky Williams actually runs into Wade Smith and helps out the pass rush. But I asked Tony Dungy last night about this football team. They've built it for the turf, or the AstroTurf, in the dome. They're fast, they're undersized on defense. Tony Dungy's son behind him. And I thought, well, is it going to play well here on the natural grass? He says, talking about Dwight Freeney, he says, yeah, I think you'll see that he's pretty quick on this grass too.
Tony Dungy told us Dwight Freeney this year is a more complete player. He understands more, and goes without saying he's playing better.
Well, I think he has one agenda when he's on the football field. He's not worried about any draws and runs. It's about getting to the quarterback. And every team needs one of those guys. And this, Greg, the Colts would have never won this game in the past if they made a mistake on offense late in the game. Today, their defense, Dwight Freeney, saves them twice. The first down run, he tackles Edgerrin James, and then the sack and fumble.
Colts about to get off to their first 7-1 start since the '77 season.
Tony Dungy said, we're going to try to kill a few more demons in this game. On the road, tough opponent, show people we're tough, that we're every bit as good as our record says we are.
Meanwhile, the Dolphins are about to lose their 3rd here at home this season, and unable to stop the clock, that is going to bring to an end a huge Indianapolis road win. They're 4-0 on the road, and this one by far the biggest of their season. Peyton Manning survives a late interception deep in his own territory, and the Colts come away with a 23-17 win.
Yeah, impressive by the Indianapolis Colts. You can see the offense, the defense, the special teams, the speed with the new young players. It's all kind of fallen in place, and curious to see how the rest of the year plays out for them.
Final score, Indianapolis 23, the Miami Dolphins 17, and the Colts improve to 7-1 on the year. The Dolphins fall to 5-3. For Phil Simms, Arma Kantayan, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us. To Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, thank you, Greg, Phil, Armin. And now the Dolphins have lost 3 home games this year. We have some bonus coverage coming your way out in Baltimore, where they're in a review off of the Ray Lewis, what they thought was an interception. Let's go there now with Ian Eagle and Solomon Wilcox.
Officials taking a look at this play. Knocked up in the air, Ray Lewis coming in for the pick in a jump ball situation.
The play is being reviewed to determine if number 85 was the first player to touch the ball.
Under 2 minutes to go. It is the officials' responsibility to take a look at the play, not a challenge from the coaches. Byron Leftwich on a 3rd down play threw the ball up in the air in a crowded area, looking to complete a pass on a 3rd down. Looking to tie the game, 24-17, Baltimore in front. And this was the play that just took place.
Now let's look at number 85, Hankton, to see if he went out of bounds. Can't tell from there.
See, I think a Raven touched it, Will Demps.
Then if Will Demps touched it before Hankton, then he's eligible to touch the ball. But he can't be the first guy to touch it. Hankton can't. If he indeed went out of bounds and then came back in, if he's the first guy to touch it, then they're going to say that it was a dead ball and would not be an interception. But if Will Demps touched the ball first, then that means now the ball's live.
And it was very close. Demps got up in the air trying to get a piece of it. See, I think he hit Demps first.
I think Will Demps touched the ball first, which means it's a live ball, which means they're going to uphold the interception by Ray Lewis.
Now the interception would end this game. 49 seconds left. Jacksonville still has 1 timeout remaining, but it's irrelevant. Ball got knocked up in the air, and the best defensive player in the NFL was able to slide in and grab it before it hit the turf.
It's really touchy to tail on that one to see if Demps hit it. I think the other one showed us a better view, but I think Will Demps was the first one to touch it. But let's keep in mind, Hankton went out of bounds, so they're saying he was illegal in terms of being the first player to touch the ball.
After reviewing the play, the ball was first touched by number 47 of the defense, and we cannot have a foul for illegal touching. However, the interception was a catch and complete. The result of the play remains the same. The ball belongs to Baltimore. First down.
Well, let me say this, Solomon. If it went the other way on Brian Billick, he would have had a conniption.
Well, we know how he feels about replay at this point. It's been well documented throughout the week how Brian Billick feels about instant replay. I think his attitude has changed somewhat after that call, wouldn't you say?
Well, it worked for him this time.
At this time. As of now, he's okay with it.
So the Ravens made life a little more difficult on themselves than they had to. They threw the ball downfield late in the 4th quarter when all they needed was to pick up yards and use up clock. They ended up stopping the clock, basically giving Jacksonville a free timeout in the process. And the Jaguars got the ball back with time to spare moving downfield. But Byron Leftwich picked off. Add that to the 2 fumbles that he had. And Jack Del Rio's team falls to 1-7. Del Rio, an embrace with his former linebacker here in Baltimore, Ray Lewis. Brian Billick hired Del Rio when Billick became the head coach. He said it was one of the first calls that he made. But all in all, Baltimore improves to 5-3 atop the AFC North. Ravens win it, a strange one here at M&T Bank Stadium, 24-17 the final. For Solomon Wilcox, this is Ian Eagles. So long from Baltimore. The Subway postgame show is coming up. This is the NFL on CBS.
The Subway postgame show is sponsored by Subway. Good, so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh.
And we welcome you to the Subway postgame show. Jim Nance from our NFL Today studios in New York. My goodness, what a frenetic 15 minutes it has been. Yes. Dan Marino, Deion Sanders, Boomer Esiason here on CBS's 75th anniversary. We got a long postgame show, which is fun. Sit back and talk about the games. Got a little black tie function tonight, the Hammerstein Ballroom. And what do you say we talk first up about the Colts?
Clean.
You're going to be ready. You can bring out the new tux.
Baby. Bringing out the tuxes of all tuxes. That tux. You seen the movie The Tuxedo?
Yeah,
I got one just like that.
It is a one of a kind. I did get a sneak preview. I look forward to seeing that. Dan, the Dolphins now lost 3 home games on the season. What a finish here. And early going. This was Greasy hooking up with his big tight end, McMichael, to set up a score.
And that's what they're looking for, is big plays out of our offense in the passing game. And that was the Randy McMichael down the sidelines, which set up a touchdown here by Ricky Williams, who runs over a Colts safety and gets in, puts them up 7-0.
And, you know, in the middle part of this game, Dan, nothing was going right for the Dolphins. They just watched the Colts. Here they got sacked, run off 16 unanswered points.
You know, the one thing the Dolphins had struggled with in this game, you see right here, the Dolphins getting some pressure on Peyton Manning, is they were only 1 of 10 on third down conversions. And when that happens, that means the other team continually gets the ball. And I don't care how good your defense plays, you're going to have problems. You see Zach Thomas getting run over by Edgerrin James, gets in the end zone for a touchdown. Brian Greasy looking for a big play, and this is another one that they hit, the Chris Chambers down the sideline for a touchdown.
That was the first time he hooked up with a wide receiver the whole game. Took 2.5 quarters. This was a big moment. Troy Walters across the middle. And now with the 23-17, couldn't believe this right here.
A great pick at the end of the game by Terrell Buckley. And then Dwight Freeney causes 2 turnovers today on Brian Greasy. He's got to be the star of the game. Saves Peyton Manning, who made a big mistake right there at the end.
You know, you were talking about that play right there. What happened? It was all set up for the Dolphins to go in and steal that game.
Well, it had the play action pass, play action away, and Ricky Williams, who takes the fake, really actually should seal the outside there. Gets Dwight Freeney, comes around the corner there, and just jumps right around Ricky Williams. Brian Greasy got to feel that pressure and get rid of the ball. You know, I mean, when you're on the 15-yard line, get a chance to win the game.
Looks like they're going to win the game.
Well, I was going to say, Monday night we saw them against San Diego, and San Diego team that really wasn't into the game, and we thought about Brian Greasy, was he going to be able to energize against a good football team, and he wasn't able to do that. 2 important turnovers, and what was Peyton Manning thinking on that last play? What was that interception to Terrell Buckley?
That was a great play by Terrell Buckley.
It was a bad play by Peyton Manning.
It was a bad play. He might have not seen it, but it was a very instinctive play, a great play by Buck.
Isn't it a lot of pressure on Greasy to come in and try to lead this team when Ricky Williams, the star running back, only has 34 yards rushing?
Well, you know, there's the play right there. It was a big mistake, and then...
Well, it led then to the 2 plays later.
The biggest problem Miami had today is they're only 1 for 10 on third down conversions. When you don't convert on third down, you got to be at least 40%. You keep giving the ball back to the other team. You know, like led by Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, had good offense. You're gonna have a tough time.
How do you think Jay Fiedler feels right now after a week of listening to how great Brian Greasy played on Monday night? I think he feels bad because his team lost, but I think it also shows that Miami isn't as good as offensively as you think they are. I think a lot of the problems stem from their offensive line.
Well,
and Wade Smith has got troubles over there. Dwight Freeney gave him all he could handle today.
They're going to give him some help over there when a guy got a great pass rusher up the field.
All right, fellas. Speaking of Dwight Freeney, just after the game, our Armand Katayan was there to talk with the real star of the game today for the Colts.
Dwight, it says something about the Colts defense that we're even interviewing a Colts defensive player after a game, but tremendous game by you today. All the sacks, the 2 forced fumbles. Tell us about it.
I mean, everybody did a great job. Our coaching staff had a real good scheme going in. You know, we just went out there and made some plays when it counted. We're trying to make a statement as a Colt defense.
Take us back just to the last play, the last big sack on Brian. You forced a fumble that really just basically ended the game for the Dolphins.
You know, I'm out there trying to make big plays. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go out there and make some plays happen. You know, my defense needed me, and that's what I did.
What about the offense? 4 drives, over 65 yards against a very good Dolphins defense.
I mean, it was huge. I mean, they gave us a lot of rest. I mean, rest is the key to the game. You know, they had their defense out there. They got tired. We were sitting on the sideline just relaxing, waiting to go out there. It was really big for the offense to do what they did.
Last thing is, Tony told us last night that this is the kind of game that the that the Colts can really kind of exercise the demons on their defense, let other people understand how good this team is.
We really try to come out here and make a statement. Talking about the league, it was that we couldn't stop the run. We went out there, cleaned up a few things, and that's what we did.
You sure did. Thanks, Dwight.
All right, man. Thank you.
Well done there. Thank you, Armin. 7-1 now. The Colts at the midway point of the season. And Boomer and Dion said on the NFL today that they would win this game. This team really, talk about the wins they've had, though, at Tampa, at Miami, to go in and win at those two places.
And even when they haven't played their best, they've won games at home, I think, which is also indicative of a very good football team. But how about Jay Fiedler? He beat in the Indianapolis Colts the last 3 times that these two teams hooked up. So, again, I don't want to go back and create a mountain out of a molehill, but simply down in Miami, you got to believe that there's a quarterback controversy going the other way back now, I would imagine.
They go back and forth all year. If they don't convert on 3rd down and they cause those turnovers, they're going to lose.
All right, guys, let's move on to the Raiders and the Lions. And Tuiasosopo got his first start today. He didn't last long. He was picked early, and then Jerry Rice fumbled. Tuiasosopo would suffer what they believe is a torn MCL left knee. This would set up an Alandis Gary touchdown for the Lions. And Rick Meyer had to go the final 2.5 quarters for the Raiders today at quarterback. There's Gary for the 10-0 lead.
Gary takes it up the hole, and Bryson added another 53 yards rushing. It proves Oakland cannot stop the run. But when you need big plays in crucial moments, veterans like Rod Woodson come up with the big play. But Harrington poised, sitting back in the pocket, faking one way, and the running back, the fullback on the other side of the field for the touchdown. Oakland continues to give up the big plays. One thing they always tell you, nothing cheap and nothing deep. You see, they finally go back to Charlie Garner, who had 15 rushes for 66 yards, trying to keep this team in the game, but 4 turnovers. I mean, 4 turnovers is not the combination for a healthy football team. Myra up under severe pressure all day. You can't expect that guy who was carrying a clipboard all week long to come in.
Well,
he
didn't expect to play. He's a third-team quarterback. He's after Gannon, Tuiasosopo. He probably never thought he was going to play all season long. He had to go 2.5 quarters today, and the Raiders now fall to 2-6 on the season. Man. Tampa Bay also lost today, so you take the 2 Super Bowl teams from last year, and the Raiders are now 2-6, and the Bucs are 4-4. Raiders are 0-5 on the road. It's their worst road season in almost 40 years. The season is lost.
It takes a little luck on the road to win games. I think they had that with them last year. And again, the thing about Tuiasosopo, we saw him on Monday night. He played well in the 4th quarter. That's catch-up kind of street ball type of football. Now he found out what it meant to go out there as a starter. You never want to see a guy get hurt, but he struggled all day long when he was in there. And Danny, it looked like he just didn't have his
line. I mean, they had guys coming free, really. If you look at the offensive line of the Raiders, he had no chance back there whatsoever.
All right, guys, Joey Harrington and the Lions pick up their 2nd win of the season, and Marcus Allen was there with the Lions quarterback after the game.
Well, I'm down here with Joey Harrington. Great game. You guys didn't play like a 1-6 team today. What was the difference?
We controlled things a lot better than we have in weeks past. We were more efficient. We ran the ball really well. We've worked for a couple of weeks now on me personally not forcing the ball down the field, not forcing the issue, being patient, checking the ball down, taking what they gave us, and we did that today.
Tell me about the play of your offensive line. They dominated the defensive front.
Oh, they did terrific. We ran the ball extremely well. Once again, I didn't get sacked. It's becoming kind of routine. I'm almost being taking it for granted because they're playing so well week in and week out.
Well, tell me, is this the kind of game that can catapult you guys' confidence in your play to a win streak?
I hope so. I really do. To come out and play well and play very efficient, I think that's what we did against the AFC champs. That's a big step for us.
What about the speech this week by Coach Mariucci and owner Bill Ford Jr.? Did it have a lot to do with it?
It kind of woke us up again. We've been telling each other, you got to have fun, but to have someone come in from the outside like Mr. Ford did, he's not down there on the field with us. It's something that he's watching and realizing, we got to have fun again, and we did that today. We played well.
Congratulations. Good luck. See you later.
All right, thank you, Marcus Allen. Next week, the Lions host the Bears. And the Lions had not beaten an AFC team in their previous 9 attempts, but this begs the question now, what will the Raiders do at quarterback? This, you have to think, will accelerate the return of Rich Gannon. The internal talk with Oakland had been the players were overjoyed at the fact that Tuiasosopo had not only come in that second half of the Monday night game against Kansas City, but they thought he could kind of rejuvenate and bring them back to life the second half of the season. It looks like, again, waiting till the final medical report back, looks like maybe a torn MCL.
Look at what he did the Monday night game. Boomer was talking. He made some plays, brought some spark back into that team. So I think they were all hopeful. They were all talking. So, you know, Tim Brown was talking in our pregame show how he thought this guy could make plays for him that Gannon wasn't making.
Well, remember, at the end of a game like that in the fourth quarter, when the opposing team like the Kansas City Chiefs is in total control of the game, and you're down by 14, 17 points, whatever it was, it's a little bit different out there.
They're not going to take chances.
The defense is going to sit back. They're not coming after you. They're not blitzing you. And all of a sudden, you kind of get into a flow of the game, and the momentum swings your way. But it's different when you're a starter. No matter who you're playing, you got to come out of the gates and you got to be prepared. And it's a different ball game, especially when you're playing against a team like Detroit on the road at their place.
Again, Tuiasosopo shaky before he was injured. Meyer comes in, throws 2 picks also, and the Raiders have fallen to 2-6. We'll continue on the Subway postgame show in just a moment. We are back on the Subway post-game show. Your double meat turkey is waiting for you there, Boomer.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
My turkey's sitting next to me.
No, you should talk about Dan.
Hey, guys, tonight on CBS.
I'm not sitting next to him.
60 Minutes.
Close, but no.
And that'll be followed by the huge special, CBS at 75 Live, the primetime celebration. Yes, Mary Tyler Moore will be there. Magnum will be there.
James Evans from Good Times will be there.
Carol Burnett will be there. I want to remind everybody at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. You want to see the Aridi Honors for Courage in Sports. It's coming up right after our Subway post-game show. So we bring you back in and talk about, well, a couple of things here. First off, we got San Diego and Chicago. We're going to get to their highlights in a moment. The Giants and the Jets. What a comeback by the Jets here. Santana Moss hauling in 3 touchdowns today from Pennington. And they're on to OT. The Giants almost had a first possession win, but Conway missed from 39 yards out. And now the Jets have the football just inside of 7 minutes to play. They're at their own 33-yard line. Giants just punted the football to the Jets. Let's move on now to the Chargers and Chicago. And Flutie tried to bring out a little magic here. Here's Chris Chandler, though, for the Bears in the first half.
It was throwback day at the new Soldier Field between Chandler and Doug Flutie. But right here, Paul Edinger gives the Bears a 3-0 lead. And then it's the A-Train. Where has he been all year? Or how about, Bear fans have got to be wondering, what would have happened had Chris Chandler started the season as their quarterback, as the A-Train finds the end zone right here.
Thomas had 2 touchdowns today, 111 yards, and this just about did it for Breeze right here.
I think Marty Schottenheimer said enough's enough already. You can't just throw the ball down the middle of the field and try to force it to David Boston. And it was a nice read by the safety, but here he comes.
Here he comes, the Magic Man cutting loose, 17 yards here, Boomer.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he still has some flair for the dramatic, there's no question about it, but even his personality can't help a team that has just basically been unfocused the last few weeks.
But his first series leads to a touchdown, and suddenly it's 13-7. Just seconds to go, this iced it. They had to review it, discounted. Thomas was across the plane. And a win there for the Bears. They've won 3 of their last 5.
I'm wondering why Marty didn't go earlier to Doug Flutie, because as we saw, he can energize a football team, and Drew Brees has been so inconsistent and so unconfident that he has just not been the guy back there for them. You could take a look at the numbers here. Thomas over 111 yards, and that's something that a guy like Chris Chandler can really benefit from. He's not a guy that moves around, but he made a couple good first downs, had a nice run for 11 yards.
You know what he does? He's a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing with the football.
He gets hurt.
He can get rid of the ball. He gets run. He don't take sacks. So, that's
Let's just see
what helps. Guys, come on. Both of these teams are bad.
Well, not sitting here saying they're going to the Super Bowl.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, they are
I don't
pretty
understand how much worse can it get in San Diego. I understand they're going through some tremendous things personally there with the families back home dealing with the fire situation, but losing on top of that, it really puts a damper on the whole city as well as the football team.
All right, fellas, after the game, Gus Johnson and Brent Jones were there to cover it for us, and they had a chance to talk with Anthony Thomas, who had the 2 touchdowns today.
Well, Anthony, you guys must feel awfully good about winning this one at home.
Yeah, I was my first game back and trying to battle back and try to get in the rhythm. We had a lot of bumps and bruises today, but we made a lot of mistakes, and we got to correct those.
Anthony, talk about your offensive line and some of those holes that they opened up for you out there today.
I mean, those guys are fighters. I mean, a lot of guys got hurt today. Olin went down with an ankle, but he stayed out there and fought with us. I mean, that's what the Bears like to do.
And after winning this game, you won last week against Detroit. You play Detroit next week on the road. You have a chance to build some momentum and maybe have a chance at 500 when the Rams come into town.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to play last week, but now it's time to go in and watch the film and try to get this game out of our head and go play Detroit now.
Anthony, in your third year, you're one of the old guys on this team. You got a lot of rooks out there making some things happen.
Yeah, I feel old. I mean, I'd only been here for 3 years, but I got a lot of rookies that go out and play and fight real hard for us.
Well, one thing is for sure, Anthony, it looks like the Bears continue to fight.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fight to the end. That's the main thing right now. I mean, it's 60 minutes in a game. We want to play all 60 minutes, not 30. Now we can't play just the halftime.
Anthony, great game today. We'll see you down the road. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, indeed. They do have a chance to, again, play the Lions next week, and the Bears are 3-5 at the midway point.
I think it goes back to the point where what happens or what would have happened had Chris Chandler been the starter as opposed to Cordell Stewart. And, you know, I don't always want to get on Cordell. Dan is always getting on him.
Oh, what are you talking
Chris,
about?
actually, you know, you're asking Cordell Stewart to come into an offense that he was not familiar with. And then Chris Chandler had been there already a year. Should have given him the ball to start the season, at least get his team moving.
Chris Chandler's a veteran guy, knows what he's doing with the football. I mean,
took a team to the Super Bowl.
He has. He has.
He got beat to death.
You guys just didn't like Cordell. I mean, I'll tell you what. I don't know what was you, especially
right,
you. I don't know.
You are really trying to start something, aren't you?
Passing the buck.
Stirring it up. We're going to be going into the Baltimore Ravens locker room with Brian Billick's comments to his team when we continue on the Subway Postgame Show in a moment.
The Subway Postgame Show is sponsored by Subway. Good, so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. The Subway Postgame Show is sponsored by Subway. Good, so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh.
We welcome you back to the Subway Postgame Show with a reminder that we're back next Sunday at noon Eastern with another edition of the NFL Today. And then it's doubleheader action. Early games, yes, we've got the undefeated Chiefs coming off their bye. They'll be hosting the Cleveland Browns. The Dolphins tackle the Titans, the Texans take on the Bengals, and the Colts against the Jags. Late starts, the Bills face the Cowboys, and the Jets square off against the Raiders. My, oh my, we thought that was going to be some game when the schedule first came out. And a reminder, you can cast your vote for the CDW Top Team Performance at CBSSportsline.com. All right, as we continue on the postgame show here, Jacksonville and Baltimore today, and the Ravens win again. They got Todd Heap. They got his touchdown that was taken away last week. They got it early here.
After further review, this place stands.
Yeah, they didn't have to look at it twice.
I guarantee you, Heap having a big day. Byron Leftwich, up under severe pressure all day. You got to understand, this Raven defense is one of the better defenses in the league right here. Travis Taylor coming out of nowhere. The last 2 weeks, the guy has really stood up. But Bowler right here is trying to play action fake.
Look out.
Allen Ricard fumbles, Jacksonville recovers, and they take it in for the touchdown. It's a good game at this point, 10-13, when stripped right here. Peter Bulwer. I don't know where he's been all year, but he's making plays right now, right when needed. Byron Leftwich, I feel sorry. Dan, have you ever been up under that much pressure with a defense like Baltimore's defense?
No.
This was a backbreaker right here, though, guys.
Chester Taylor cuts back 30 yards, takes it in for the touchdown. Stover added 3 field goals on the day. Then Leftwich, it gets worse right here. Just throwing it up for grabs at the end of the game. Best defensive player in the game right now. Ray Lewis makes his second interception of the season. Defensive battle.
Well, the Ravens sacked Leftwich 4 times. You saw him lose a fumble and a pick. And here's what Brian Billick said to his team after the game.
Appreciate a win. Yeah. What it is, what happens, what the circumstances are, who the opponent is, all right, how you played individually or collectively. A win in this league is big. Don't ever underestimate that. Don't ever undervalue that. And don't let anybody else cheapen it. I don't care what criteria anybody else wants to put on it. What do I always tell you? They just don't understand. So don't try to explain it to them, okay? Now, we said at the halfway mark, we'd poke our heads up. We're 5-3. 5-3. Got to reset our sights a little bit. got to set some priorities. We'll do that tomorrow at 2 o'clock, very briefly. Get your lift in, get your treatment in. We'll meet for not more than a half hour, okay? Because I don't want to deal with this on Wednesday, because as soon as we're done talking about what we got to do, what our priorities are, how we're going to restructure it, how we're going to approach it, then we got to forget about it, let me worry about it, and you come back and get ready for the St. Louis Rams come Wednesday morning, all right? Because the one thing we have been doing, regardless, is we've been preparing well, and that's got to continue. So get in, get your treatment, make sure you get your lift. We'll have a short meeting at 2 o'clock. But don't ever undervalue a win. Take it in.
I always love the scene there when the coach has total command of his team, and Brian Billick has that with his Ravens. Very underrated coach. I truly believe his team 5-3. He talked about it next week. They're playing at the Rams, and you just saw Jamal Lewis now is over 1,000, first to do so on the season.
And the amazing thing about that he does this running football with a young kid at quarterback that they really don't respect him throwing the ball down the field. They put 8 guys in the box, and he's still over 1,000 yards halfway through the season. It's pretty amazing.
All right, guys, let's hear from Jamal Lewis. Ian Eagle and Solomon Wilcox were there to call the game on CBS. They had a chance to visit with Jamal.
Joined by Jamal Lewis. Strange finish to this one as the Ravens pull it out. And obviously coming in, Jamal, everybody figures you're going to be able to run the football on Jacksonville, but you were able to do it in different ways today, a complete team effort.
Oh, yeah, their defense played real good. They contained me pretty good, but we made big plays outside, and that's what really counted. We came up with a W, so that's big.
How much did it help the fact that Kyle Bowler was able to make some plays early throwing the ball as Jacksonville looked to stack the line against him?
Hey, that's my goal. That's what I play for, to try to bring those guys up in the box so he can really open it up and it leaves him room to throw the ball outside.
Well, if it wasn't one Lewis today, at least it was another Lewis getting it done at the end. Ray Lewis with the interception to seal the deal.
Oh, yeah, he's a man. He made big plays at big times, and he was real frustrated the way they was moving the ball, but he stepped up big.
All right, Jamal, congrats, bro.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jamal.
Jamal Lewis, there you see it. Through 8 games since 1970, look at the list of players he joins who've done it that quickly. Davis, Simpson twice, Davis again back in 97. 1,045 yards for Jamal Lewis. As interestingly, these two used to be divisional foes, and the Jags won the first 8 matchups of the series, and now 6 straight wins by Baltimore.
Well, the only thing I can tell you about Baltimore is Brian Billick is exactly right. You never devalue a win no matter who you're playing. It sounds like that locker room was flat because they didn't win by more points than they did. And all 3 of us will be the first to tell you that you win in this league. It doesn't matter who you play, where you're playing, what uniforms they're wearing. A win is a win.
Hey, they get paid too, right?
That's exactly right.
You thought they were flat. I thought they were riveted.
No, I thought they were flat.
You thought they were flat. I thought they were listening. I liked it. I liked what I saw. We'll continue with the Subway postgame show in just a moment.
The guy in the back end.
All right, welcome back to the Subway postgame show. My guy is about to chow down right there. They got the buffet out. And reminder tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by what they're calling the greatest live television reunion of all time. We will be there,
We
guys.
will be there live.
You're bringing your autograph book because you got Andy Griffith, and I know you're looking forward to seeing Jim Neighbors and some of those other guys. Mary Tyler Moore.
That's your buddy.
College football returns next Saturday on CBS starting at 3 Eastern. With the Olympus, college football today, followed by the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Ole Miss and Auburn. It just ended at the Meadowlands. Let's go through it. Here's what happened.
This game had a little bit of everything. Santana Moss, 1 of 3 touchdowns today. He and Chad Pennington hitting it on all cylinders. But now it's Kerry Collins' turn as we go up and down the field. He finds Amani Toomer down the sideline. And boy, I'll tell you what, guys, this was a track meet. Chad Pennington now gets and throws an interception to Ralph Brown. And, the thing about this game and the thing about Chad Pennington is that the Jets are able to overcome his turnovers because he brings them right back down the field. But this time he misses a blitz and he fumbles. You got to see that, right, Danny?
Oh, no doubt.
Now here comes Curtis Martin. Watch. Watch
doubt.
Chad Pennington right here. Brandon Short. Hello. Remember, Brandon Short was the guy who hurt Chad Pennington in preseason the last time these two teams hooked up. Chad Pennington finding who? Santana Moss again in the seam.
Combo of the day, but back comes Collins.
And this, you have missed field goals. You have Ike Hilliard as he scores a touchdown. Then it's Dorsey Levens. Tiki Barber's on the sideline.
Right.
And then they bring him back down again, the Jets. And this time it's, guess who? Santana Moss.
And so again, down 14 with 6 minutes to go. They get Moss, then they look in, and it's Beck to tie it. 2 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes, Boomer.
Right, Giants have a chance to win it.
And it's Conway just wide. That would have been a first possession win. Wide left. Now, they each touched it 2 more times, and the Jets had a total miscue on about a 50-yard attempt there by Doug Bryant.
Yeah, their kicker wasn't ready. The ball was snapped, and the Giants were all over it. And then right here, this is the game-winning kick for the Giants, and Jim Fossil's got to be happy to finally see his team just execute a field goal to win the football game.
Look how close we came to an actual tie. You talk about Marathon Sunday in New York. Hey, this one went almost the full 5 quarters.
I think they saw Goober and Gomer in the stands there.
Saw a little bit of everything. As Pennington had a nice little reunion of his own with Santana Moss. 4 touchdowns and all 3 of them to Moss. As the Jets really had a great comeback. But Collins and company win it for their second straight win, able to back up the victory at Minnesota last week. Just really stunning into that game. And again, the Jets and the Giants, before the winner by Conway, each had field goal attempts that went awry.
Well, we have Amani Toomer in the Meadowlands here, Jim.
Yeah, there is. Hey, Amani, Jim Nance, along with Dan Marino, Deion Sanders, Boomer Esiason. We're live here from our NFL Today studios and put in perspective this win here today by the Giants.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're real happy about this one. We even want our special teams to do something, and they came up with a big block field goal at the end, and I'm real happy right now.
Amani, you had a big catch that really advanced you guys into range to win it. You had 8 catches on the day for 127 yards and a touchdown. Talk about the reception you had in the late going there in overtime that set up the winner.
Well, I mean, this is the first time, they've really been trying to play us cover 3 where I'll get a man-to-man on the corner in a couple of weeks, so I figured I had to take advantage of it, and Kerry put the ball right there for me, and the coach was calling the right plays, and we had good success.
2 weeks ago, people were saying this was going to be a lost season. You guys were heading up to Minnesota to take on one of the unbeatens. You knock off the Vikings. They suffer their first loss, and now you win this game in overtime. What is the mindset now?
I mean, we went 2 in a row. It's the first time we've done it all season, and everything's really clicking pretty good. And I'm really happy with the way everything's going right now, and hopefully we can use this and use a springboard for the rest of our season.
Hey, listen, your 100-yard game today gives you 18 career 100-yard reception games, which sets the all-time Giants franchise record. So congratulations on so many fronts.
Thanks a lot. You learn something new every day.
There you go, Monty. Great win by the Giants. Congratulations to you guys. And the Giants, again, win it with seconds to go in overtime. Conway kicks the winner, his second attempt in overtime, and the Giants win it 31-28. We'll continue on the Subway Postgame Show.
The Subway Postgame Show is sponsored by Subway. Good, so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh.
Remarkable stories. I encourage you to stay tuned with that. All right, Dom Capers, Texans coach, goes against his old team, Carolina, today, and it was a quick strike here, Delhomme to Steve Smith. But back comes the Tony Banks-led Texans.
And Stacey Mack gets in for 1 yard here. And the story really in the second half is Tony Banks. You see him, big play here to Andre Johnson. He didn't have a very good first half. In the second half, he throws for 124 yards.
Watch this catch, the catch of the day. Spears it. That's Billy Miller, and that was the winning touchdown.
And that's just it. You need big plays when they count.
Here's Delhomme trying to bring him back late in the fourth quarter. All kinds of time. Look what happens here.
And this is the thing that Steve Smith does. He kicks the player when he's getting up, gets a penalty. It stops the drive. And this really could have, well, it did. Actually, it was one of the reasons why they might have lost the game, because he stopped drive. He kicks the player on the ground right here, gets a 15-yard penalty.
Well, you got to wonder what that guy's doing to Steve Smith, whether he's
I think he might have been twisting his ankle. Yeah.
That's the first game that the Panthers have lost this season that they're going to say they should have won. They'd already lost to Tennessee this year, but they lose to the Texans, who are now 3-5 on the year. There you see Dominique Davis had 12 carries, 74 yards, another superb outing, but they only went about 2.5 quarters before he suffered an injury, shoulder injury, did not return, and Mack, you saw him get the touchdown. All right, how about the Saints for the 3rd straight time? They beat the Bucks.
How about Aaron Brooks right here? He connects with Michael Lewis for a 38-yard touchdown, and you got to wonder what's going on with Tampa down there. This is a defensive slugfest for most of the game, especially on behalf of the New Orleans Saints. And finally, Michael Pittman makes a play, but then fumbles at the end of that play to Derek Rogers of the New Orleans Saints. And then the start of the second half, the Saints come on with an onside kick to get the ball. What a nice play. That's what you got to do when you're on the road and you're the underdog. You got to make some plays, take some chances.
Now here's a little pick here by Brooks.
and not a good play by Aaron Brooks. And then Brad Johnson again drops back in the pocket to the sideline. Bad pass, bad throw. This is the type of thing that just kills you, regardless of Super Bowl champions or not. You got to play safe and sane and with poise, and Brad Johnson didn't do that right there.
As Ashley Ambrose running it back 14-0. They mounted a beautiful little rally here. They got a touchdown to Pittman, and on the next series, it's Johnson to McCardell to tie it at 14. But the Saints would drive back at the end, and it's John Carney, the old reliable, for the winner.
And what happened to that Buccaneer defense right there at the end of the game? 17-14, Jim, as you said, 3 in a row now, the Saints over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going back to last year.
And the Bucs are 4-4. That was a 48-yard winner by Carney. And the Saints, hey, we've been on them a lot this season, but they are now 4-5. Look at that.
6 turnovers. You cannot win. I mean, it's a close game. They still had 6 turnovers.
All right, guys, let's move it to the active scores now. This is Arizona and Cincinnati, and Bengals are in with their man Rudy Johnson. That was just moments ago. Freddie Jones had scored the first touchdown, that for Arizona. And just moments ago, it's Peter Warwick from Kitna.
I'm telling you, the Bengals now next week go against Houston. Now our 13 will kick the extra point 14-7. And Kitna 6 of 8 for 52 yards and a touchdown.
All right, let's move up to Seattle. Check this out. It's Maddox and Pittsburgh against the Seahawks, and they're all over. Tommy, again, he's got no protection all season long. Just a field goal battle so far in that one. Other actives, the Rams and the Niners, and T.O. with a 5-yard touchdown catch. And again, Rattay getting the start today with Garcia out. He's thrown that touchdown to Terrell. And there are the Redskins leading the Cowboys as a touchdown toss to Coles. They missed the PAT. The Cowboys turned it over, gentlemen, 3 times in the game's first 7 minutes. And how about this? For the first time this season, McNabb has thrown a touchdown to a wide receiver.
Oh, they must be playing Atlanta.
They are.
Oh, okay.
But it's 10-7.
It's right there. They're playing Atlanta.
All right, guys.
Like
it's
new secondary.
The next new head coach down there.
That's right. Don't talk about my team.
Hey, okay. It's been a full day, and still a whole lot more to come. We've got the special later tonight. Your final thought here, Dan, on the day.
Well, you look at the Miami Dolphins and just, losing 3 home games.
It's hard to believe.
Awfully tough. I mean,
absolutely hard to believe.
The team I picked to go to the Super Bowl.
I can't wait to meet Goober and Gomer tonight.
They'll be there. Bring your autograph book. It's time to chow down. Thanks for being with us on the Subway Post Game Show. So long, everybody.
I want to meet Weezer.